Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. Yeah, North American stock futures a little changed at this point, awaiting this number right here. March, month over month, core CPI data just out 0.6% versus 0.5% expected there. The year over year number in line as well, 2.6 versus 2.5%. Everyone sitting on the edge of their seats waiting for that number this morning. So there you go. Again, the month over month, 0.6 versus 0.5, 2.6 versus 2.5 on the year over year number. For CPI, markets coming off another muted session yesterday. We had basically everything relatively unchanged. The S&P 500 barely missed another record close, closing the day slightly lower. The Dow down about 55 points on the day, and the NASDAQ 0.4%. The 10-year edging slightly higher this morning, 1.67. Once again, remember, just last week we were up around 1.75. There's big SPAC news this morning, record-setting SPAC news. Altimeter Growth Corporation taking SoftBank-backed Grab public, $40 billion deal. We'll talk about J&J coming up, big move down. That took the whole market down when we got that news on Johnson & Johnson, the U.S. pausing use of their COVID-19 vaccine, if you missed that. And NVIDIA back on watch this morning after an impressive move yesterday. It's Tuesday, April 13th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. Look at North American markets. Yeah, you can see the NASDAQ already back in positive territory. Both the S&P and Dow off the lows as well, 0.2, 0.3% respectively for those after that spike down that followed the J&J headline there. TSX here in Toronto, futures pointing to a positive open. Brazil's open trading lower. Bitcoin record highs today, 5% to the upside for Bitcoin still. Crude is in positive territory. Gold to the downside so far. Good morning, guys. Going to be an interesting one so far today. Yeah, record highs for Bitcoin. We have vaccine troubles. We have the market kind of shrugging that off, I guess.
Well, I mean, especially in the U.S. where there's so much vaccine available and so many different options. You saw Moderna to the upside. And I don't think Pfizer moved too much when that J&J news dropped. I'll tell you what did come down is you can see Carnival Cruise Lines. There were some drops in the airlines as well. Basically just reacting to the headline. A lot of the reopened plays tended to move on that, and getting a little bit of a bounce back. I saw a bit more of a bounce in some of the domestic airlines as opposed to Carnival here. But it's Tuesday. Like you said, Bitcoin at all-time high is going to have to be talking about crypto today, and of course we get some Coinbase tomorrow. The other story, of course, is going to be those chips, guys. Not the kind that you can eat. But NVIDIA super strong, and to the other side of that, digging into Intel's core business, we'll be talking about that as well. So competition comes to Intel, and they headed to the downside yesterday. It was a fun close, but a range-bound one. The good thing about that is it gave us some levels to work off of. So some stocks that we're trading to close yesterday, we got some interesting areas that we can play off of from what we learned there, Sean.
Yeah, for sure. Look, we talked about this on Friday, and I mentioned to everybody on Friday that we were going to have a Bitcoin move over the weekend, and then now you're here today up to 63,000. We were 57, 58,000. I mean, and then today it's just like we continue to make the move. And there's the all-time high, 63,236, I guess, made. And I mean, we just, like I said, I just talked about this on Friday when we were down 56, 57. Said that over the weekend we probably cracked through 60. That was easy. Now it's 63. Now the next stop is 70. I actually put up a poll. I don't know what you guys think about this, but we'll see right here. Do you think, it's already pretty good, already just over 200 votes. Do you think we see 60K first before, or 70K before we retrace back to 60? Right now it looks like there's some haters on Bitcoin thinking that we're going to see 60 before we see 70. I'm firmly in this camp and was willing to make bets yesterday. But now you're seeing it way up. And look, I just think it's going to be a great run here. You see XRP guy, $1.70 right now. Cardano, $1.36. BNB is near 500. It's going to be a great day. And then we have the J&J news, right? I don't think that that's going to be a major story, but I think it will hit the cruise lines. And okay, here we go. We just got in now to NVIDIA, so early trade right now, long at 610 on NVDA. It was the one thing I wrote down here on my sticky note here. I just wrote the word wow. NVIDIA, wow. So we'll wait, 608, 610, they're all right here. And then you have the all-time high of 614 coming through. So yeah, I'll probably be able to take $1 on this right now if I just offered, but we'll wait to see. I like the 610 long. I think we take out that 614 today.
All right, yeah, yesterday was definitely wow for NVIDIA. If you missed it, guys, there is positive reaction coming here for the futures off of that number. So a nice little spike higher after the J&J news. Here it is again, month over month CPI 0.6 versus 0.5 year over year for March, 2.6 versus 2.5. So yeah, futures trying to get back to positive territory. Good to see. Before we go any further, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Miss B.
Good morning, Brendan. Hi, guys. I wish you an interesting and productive day. And please support the show, subscribe to our channel, and destroy the like button. Let's get it started, Brendan.
Yeah, let's get it started. I like that. Interesting day. Let's have an interesting day, guys. There's already lots that is definitely interesting. We'll talk about this Johnson & Johnson news. It was, I guess funny is not the correct word, but interesting to see Moderna rallying off of that. There's also this other cancer-related company going absolutely crazy this morning. $150 stock up 100% in the pre-market, guys.
Yeah, NVCR, the one you're referring to there, and well, actually, it's come off a little bit, back down at like 230, got up to like $270. I think we're probably going to come back to this one as it's going to be a mover today, but it was so interesting that Moderna move, and I guess, I mean, there's some logic to it. I suppose if you want to beat up on J&J in that particular case and then say, okay, well, you're going to get more use out of, and more future use potentially out of the Moderna vaccine. I don't know. I feel like this is the day traders, like the trader stock, I should say, as opposed to the other vaccine plays, and that's why it tends to get these little pops here. If it does, look, if it extends any further into that 150, it just kind of feels like there's going to be a little bit of a fade to me off Moderna, at least based on this news. It might be an overreaction in both directions. So, you know, we'll be looking at some J&J as well, but it feels a little bit outdone into Moderna. It is rounding close to what was like, you know, a high back in like mid-March here, guys. So if it does get any close to that, it's probably going to be an interesting fade for me today. It's not the whole sell the news on positive news, particularly for Moderna, but it does have that bit of a hint of flavor.
Yeah, just looking at, I told you NVIDIA would go $1 in the money. We're $1 in the money right now. So already, man, we'll just come flying in with another win. I want to keep it. I think this is going to 614 pretty easily. So we won't, there we go. We'll hold on to that one as we come crashing in on Moderna as well. Up 7%. Look, I talked about this before. I said that the best thing, if you're going to invest in Moderna, it's probably a decent opportunity right around here, 120. If you're lucky enough to get to 110, then you can advance yourself there. But I said that the only positive news with Moderna would be a creation of more vaccines, the fact that they can get them done really quickly. And then here's something that can go both ways, right? You get, I mean, this story could have came out about their vaccine, and then you'd see them down 3 or 4%. So, I mean, I just think this is a good step for Moderna. They've had, just like Pfizer, BioNTech, we can check out those guys as well. They haven't had any setbacks with their vaccine, apparently. Just looks like AstraZeneca and J&J. But I thought it was, Brendan, I tweeted something out that I retweeted something that you tweeted out, that it was like 6 cases or something for the J&J. So, you know, you get the denominator of millions, and then apparently it was only a batch out of Netherlands. Anyways, we'll get to more talk about that. I'm not worried at all about these blood clots, but we don't even have the J&J vaccine here in Canada, let alone vaccinating anybody under the age of 50. We haven't really done that yet. We don't even have our teachers vaccinated. So anyways, the vaccine business is a funny one, because you win when you create something, and then when somebody randomly, comes up with, an issue, you're hit like crazy. So it's like, you win if you're lucky enough, and then you lose if you're lucky enough as well. So I don't know. We're going to have to wait to see. But we'll get to J&J soon. But I like Moderna here, and I don't see why you can't buy it. But I wouldn't buy something up 6.5%. I mean, I think, like Neil said, you got to wait for a pullback into the 140s for Moderna for sure.
It was, I think it was the end of April. We were supposed to get that here in Canada, the J&J one. But here we go, 6.8, guys, if we can show this. 6.8 million doses of the J&J vaccine right up in the corner. It's kind of tough to see. 6.8 million doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which is called Janssen, have been administered in the U.S. So 6.8 million, who's good at math? There's 6 cases that they're investigating. So that's a...
0.001.
That's a big number. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I said. It's about the denominator, right? You have AstraZeneca there, same story, Neil, where they had, 30, and then it turned into 130 cases. But that denominator is over 20 million there in Great Britain, so United Kingdom. So I don't know. For me, I'm not worried about anything. But hey, I'm not the one with blood clots yet.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, to be honest, I came in sort of thinking, and I wrote down like a defense on J&J, and lo and behold, we're already up like off this like 156 bottom. It's already recovered a couple bucks here. So it's not to say that that's going to be all done. I mean, we're at that 158 mark. There's always a chance that it dips down a little bit lower. But if there's another consolidation, maybe it gives you like that 156 half, 156.50. It just feels like at some point there's going to be an opportunity to catch a bit of a bounce here, play on J&J, and it is what it is. You have to play the momentum. Most days you don't get a chance to day trade J&J unless you want something. If you want something that moves, today might be that day.
Let's shift gears here a little bit, guys. There was a number of stocks yesterday that got sold really, really hard. Some of the chip makers with really no significant news. I mean, NVIDIA was the only one that kind of stood out, but another one was DraftKings. Big move down yesterday, 63 up here, all the way to 57.5. We're kind of opening in this range. There is a number of kind of minor headlines on DraftKings regarding their executive team. There was a headline talking about potential deal with Axios that was discussed, but I guess really didn't go anywhere. We're trying to hold, guys, this 57.5 to 57, which is a huge level over here on the daily chart.
Yeah, speaking of that level, I mean, anyone that was watching, if you guys were tuning in at the end of the show, I mean, I did try that sort of 58 on DraftKings, see if it couldn't hold that little bit of a bounce back. And as Brendan mentioned, just going back to this 57 level on the daily chart, this is sort of an important hold. Now, is it the end of the world if you're looking for the long term? And DraftKings gets you back into this like consolidation for people to pick up who are trying to get involved? I mean, probably not, but I look at that 57 for 2 reasons. One, it was a consolidation breakout, and it was more like 56.5 to 57 that had a breakout. And then it was, I want to call it like mild support. I mean, we dipped through a few times and got into that 55, 56 range. But for the most part, DraftKings would hold that 57. You can tell by the chart, if you ever hear us say, oh, DraftKings can be a frustrating day trade, it's because you'll get into one of these price areas and then, sometimes there will be that bounce. But you have to let it really, really sort of skate through it. And you can see with some of the wicks on these the wicks on those down moves through 57, that's going to be the case. So I would tend to set my sights a little bit deeper here today in that if there's a day 2 action here, I'm looking more at like that 55-ish range if this would extend any further than that. If it goes into the low 50s, I think. I mean, I don't know how you're not looking at DraftKings in the long term and thinking that's not a good price. But for the day trade, I always I'm saying to myself this every single time with DraftKings: let it fall a little further than you think. Be a little bit like find a level in an area that you want to defend, but certainly give it some room. So I'm not going to try to defend this like 58 where we're right here right now. I'd almost want to play it off a little more weakness than that.
Yeah, I just wanted, I mean, look, DraftKings, I don't know what the problem is. We did sell a little bit there at 70s, like 70s, 50, something like that. But I just want to bring everyone's attention to Penn as well, because it's happening to all these stocks. I don't think it's stock specific per se. There is obviously, I mean, we just went over a couple news pieces there with DraftKings, but you see Penn, the high. First of all, like I'm $2 in the money on this NVIDIA trade, so that's a good one to start the day. You could see Penn's down 40%, right? It was at 140 at the high just 3 weeks ago, maybe even less, and now you're back down. You tested 100 yesterday. Looks like we're bouncing, and it looks exactly, I mean, not exactly, but it looks very, very similar to that DraftKings chart where you do have these levels down there that you can play off of. So I think that we are at these kind of breaking points. This is just going back to January. So you've basically given everything back if you didn't take anything out. But I mean, I prefer DraftKings just on the valuation, but all these gambling stocks, and I said it yesterday. I said like maybe EV is the new weed. Like we might have bought too high on a lot of these EV names, and DraftKings and Penn, the sports gambling is just it's hot. And when you get news, you get legislation. These things take off, and then they sell off. So, I mean, I think the best time to get out of Penn and DraftKings is going to be on earnings. If they beat and they're legit, then you can start to shave some off. But I don't see any problem here, Brendan. I mean, it's not on our watch list, but I don't see any reason why. I mean, Neil just went over the levels there. On DraftKings, like I said, it looks very, very similar to Penn. We've already been up here before, and I just think that we level off and you can buy it. I don't like recommending things below the 50-period moving average, but we're right at this sort of level of consolidation here with 57, 58. So, wow, like now, I mean, NVIDIA, guys, I mean, this is where we're long. Like literally 610.03 or 610.02. So a nice little $3 winner here for NVDA. I think we take out the high of the day, so I'm going to be holding this one. But DraftKings, hey, look, definitely worth a pickup if you're able to hold some for, let's call it 6 months. I think you need a couple more reports, and then we'll see how they do.
It'll be interesting to see if some of the other chip makers play along today, as they didn't yesterday. Let's go to Canada's favorite technology firm next, BlackBerry, with a little bit of news, teaming up with IBM Canada on a new partnership they announced this morning. Really wasn't much detail as far as what is included in this partnership, but yeah, exactly. The little Canadian company that just won't die, back on watch here a little bit. We're above this $9 level, which ended up being support yesterday.
Yeah, I guess it did, but this is like sort of the second time we're seeing this. And look, you can have a viable business that continues to serve the world and continues to help other companies and maybe advance both data and some applications in their cars. So look, it's not that it's necessarily a bad company. I just don't think it's a great stock. It is what it is. I think that's probably the kindest way to say it. And each time we've seen these pieces of news, we really haven't seen any kind of a real jump off. I mean, even with any of the meme stocks that are going over and over again, I'm not really seeing it here, guys. So I can't get excited about this. I think the only thing I would say is if any of those like squeeze plays start happening again, when we jump over to it, yeah, for sure. Like we'll have a look at when it's moving, but when it's only doing 150,000 and with a positive catalyst, and the same thing has happened a couple of sessions ago, I'm not going to see the day trade in BlackBerry at all. And even for like fading it, well, can't fade what didn't go up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't fade it. Yeah, good point there. We were beating up the emoji there because I don't know where it's going to go. Eventually, I think it goes up. I don't know. I'm still long from a while ago, out of the money on BlackBerry, but I don't really want to average into that one. I'm going to refresh this just to see where we're at. I actually fixed the timing on this one, so 1 day left. Well, I thought I put 8 hours on this thing. Oh, man. Okay. I wanted to see what this was, or 6 hours. I wanted to see what this was by the time we close today, because we're getting closer, man. Do we see 50, or do we see 60,000 retrace back, or do we see 70,000? I'll put this little note here for Bitcoin, and not a good segue from Bitcoin to BlackBerry, but I just wanted to see what people's thoughts were here, because I think it's a good, exercise on the crypto craze. Do we think that we get so much higher before we even retrace back down? Talk about crypto crazy. NVIDIA starts yesterday, 10 times faster chips, some sort of Ethereum mining rigs, things like that. I mean, I feel crazy not taking something out here at 613. So I think we'll probably take a $3 win to start the day if we can, and then play a 614 break. So I'm going to put something on the upside here, just a little break. If we can get near the 613.70 or so, we'll see about taking off $4. So I just want to give everyone that heads up that we'll see about taking some out 613.50 or so, and then probably go longer on the break of 614. The all-time high on NVDA, give me 1 second, I wrote it down, 614.90. So basically, let's call it 615 even. So let's take some out here, 613 and change, and then see if we get higher, but we may have missed that opportunity.
All right, George Surf, thank you so much for the super chat. Good afternoon to you over in Malta, watching all the way from Malta. Great to have you. MP Materials, a rare earth mining company, is the one he was talking about. I assume, anyways, MP in New York here. I mean, technically, it's still fine. It's come off quite significantly from 46 down to 34. This is a major pivot, 34 to 33 over here. You can see big support. down to 29.30 as well. So as long as it's above 29.30, yeah, technically it's fine for MP George Surf. Again, thank you for that. Let's get into what's moving around, guys, in the pre-market. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you sign up for the watch list. Absolutely free to you. Every single morning, we send it out before we come on at 8:30. Valeria will help you out in the chat if you need that link. Let's go to Johnson & Johnson. We mentioned the bat. Again, the CDC and the FDA coming out this morning recommending a pause as far as the vaccine use is concerned in the U.S. So big move down for J&J, but it is trying to kind of find a base here.
Yeah, I mean, so September high and then end of the sort of mid-December top, 155.50 is a number that we bounced off of. So, and this is one of those, you know, just always sort of have a look at some of these things. Like if you're ever sitting there in the morning, because this is what happens when that news drops. You look at that kind of like a flush, and if you happen to be paying attention to, and you're looking for like where might it actually bounce, you look at that 155.50, and you're going to see it get like 30 cents away from it, and then make a bit of a push to the upside. You know, if we retest that level, you know, I do want to take a shot at defending J&J here. We've already made a bit of a bounce. Decent chance that you might get some selling that comes in off of the open at 9:30 that didn't do so in the pre-market. If that's the case, you know, I looked at that level, and it's literally the only one I have written down was to defend 155.50, maybe get to like that 150, 155 even mark. But you know, I tend to think that you know, J&J's not. This is like, yes, they have a vaccine. J&J's not really a vaccine company. You probably heard us say this before. Much like Pfizer, there's a heck of a lot more to J&J than this. And I think, you know, it's solid a company. You're usually looking to buy solid companies on dips. For the day trade, however, you got to be very, very specific about it, because you can't just say, "Oh, I'm just going to go long right here and hope that it closes up." That's not the way that it works. And the only level I like is that one we found historically, 155.50. Or I like, anyways, I should say.
Yeah, no, that's the only thing. Again, that's the only thing I wrote down here. 155. J&J 155, will it hold at the very, very top? So that's going to be the question mark that we all have. And I said, screw that, NVIDIA. We're going to hold that to the moon. I'm not getting out at 613. Scratch that. We're already $3 in the money. I think it just continues to go higher. Look, J&J is going to be a good name. Neil just went over some levels, so let's see if it tests that 155 quickly before we do anything else. We haven't checked the imbalance locator yet today. So J&J 187 to sell. Small peanuts, but it's there. So we'll see if that can do anything to the market on open imbalance. We'll see where the print comes off. AMC, small down there as well. I don't see too much else of interest. I mean, Palantir, will I be trading Palantir today? Let's see. But Palantir's there. We have that 2280 level. That's super, super key as well. So we're going to wait on Palantir. But for right now, my focus on NVIDIA and some of these other levels that we're working off of.
All right, guys, let's have a look at upgrades and downgrades this morning. If you missed it, yeah, Barclays upgrading NVIDIA. Sean giving NVIDIA the wow rating this morning. That should be Sean's new rating system, I think. Marathon Oil, CommScope. Sure. Mosaic, Afri is over here today. We talked about it yesterday. The cannabis names as a group lower on the morning, down 5% again this morning. Luminex on the downgrade side as well. Remember, that's a buyout as of yesterday, guys.
Yeah, and look, if a buyout gets downgraded, it's because it's not going anywhere, right? So we'll keep that in mind. Cash deal for Luminex. But Afri, on the other hand, there was a bit of a rollover, and again, if you guys are follow along in the afternoon, there was this 1380 was just. If you were trading that 3:15 to 4 o'clock show, which you were looking for things to try to break out of some ranges, and just nothing was breaking out, so you had to do some scalping. But Afria does break this 1380 price, was a key price at 1380 to 14 even. You can see it's sort of entering and back into this, and this is why I might anticipate a bit of a bounce. It looks like it's happening. You had this little chop, and this is going back into early the first month of the year here. 13 and change, downside about like 11.80 to $12. So you had that sort of chop zone that it went back and forth a few days before breaking out, and just the fact that it touches that same price, like right into that range, and then gets a bit of a bounce. I think that's where the support is going to be. So you look at that like 12.75 to like 13, let's call it, and that's going to be your support level. If we get anywhere close to 1380. That's where I would look to see if you can't hold that 14 even. Previous support turns into resistance. Would be a theory that I'd play off at the open. So I want to jump into the weakness that way. I wish that instead of looking at Afria, and maybe we'll look at Organogram as well, but because after earnings they're down as well. But I wish I had looked at Sundial yesterday because that finally broke $1 again and is now in the 88 to 93 cent range, I think, and it might actually have lower to go. But Afria is the one for me today. I'll be looking at that 13.80 to 14.
I just want to give, and this is what really matters to me, because I know my positions and I know what my position is on crypto and everything, but Guy, this is what really matters. Like 15% return already. Brendan, you know about this stock. Me and Brendan are well in this one. BTCC.B. It's all I've been talking about. If you want to invest in crypto, this is the space. This is the ETF here, BTCC.B. So it's already nice to see that one of our viewers, and you are welcome, my friend. 984 average price long. We talked about that over and over again. And there it is, BTCC.B. If you have Canadian funds, if you are US, it's .U. And it's the purpose ETF. I feel like a sales guy here, but why not? You're up to 1172 right now. I've been buying this thing as much. I mean, I'm buying this more than Bitcoin because this is a registered account, and we have advantages to that as well, as opposed to buying it on Coinbase or anything, Binance, things like that. So off exchange. So anyways, the point is that this is a Bitcoin, 1-to-1 Bitcoin. Basically, it's been following it exactly from what I can see. And right now, obviously with Bitcoin making all-time highs, you're getting BTCC right now going to open up. Toronto doesn't have any pre-market printing. They do on some exchanges, but it's not very prevalent. So you're going to see it right now open up around this 1170 mark, I hope. And that's an all-time high, obviously, for BTCC.B. So congratulations to everybody there. You got to have some kind of diamond hands. Everyone was hating on me for a while that, holding the bag and this and that. It was kind of fun to hold the bag a little bit because it gave us an opportunity to buy lower. And we did that. I remember sitting there with my wife on the couch and we bought Bitcoin $3,000. And that was just for fun. We slipped in there $500 and I was like, oh my God, and then just kept going. And then obviously we've gotten more into that. And anyways, long story short, Bitcoin continues to run. Congratulations, anybody that's on these names as well.
Agreed. 100%. Let's go to NVIDIA. Once again, guys, if you missed it yesterday, they increased their current quarter sales forecast well above the $5.3 billion mark that was previously announced. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 upgrades on the stock this morning, to name a few: Credit Suisse, Cohen, Mizuho, and Rosenblatt Securities, all with positive notes on NVIDIA this morning.
What?
Yeah, I mean, NVIDIA spends so much time around that 500, finally ramping off, and the only thing that stinks is when it finally gives you 5%, it gets taken away over an Intel, because part of what was released yesterday is going into Intel's like 90% share in their server chip business. So. What's negative for Intel is going to be positive for NVIDIA. Sean already said, I mean, 640, 1490, 615. That's splitting hairs. 615 top is, look, everyone's going to be looking at that. That's a level to watch for sure. If there's any kind of a failure at that price, it's going to be about holding that 605. So if I do see a top fail, so it fails to break out that 615 area off of the open, which is not what I'm guessing. I actually look at that break. I'm going to be shorting through 605 just as a rubber band effect. I mean, I think it's more likely that we take out the top, obviously, at this point, given the strength that it's shown, and it sat so long in that consolidation point at 500 that you were basically lulled to a sense of just boredom as you watch some other names move around, and we're waiting for NVIDIA to get going. It finally did, and it was certainly worth that wait. So 614.90, as Sean mentioned, is the high, but 615 to me is the actual top level we're looking at.
We were just kind of, I was wondering if Neil was going to use the word short for NVIDIA today. If it gets to those levels, yeah, I mean, I just want to keep buying this name. There are some good levels down there. Like if we can get to yesterday's close, like 608, 609, like.
That's what I mean. It has to fail down there to sell it. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. But even if it gets to 605, I'm not. There's basically whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to short anything. But there is this gap up here, 600 all the way. So that it traveled so fast through here that you could get some action in here where it's not sure what it wants to do between 600 and 605, 606. Yeah, that's. 606 is a pretty good bottom there. I don't know. I'm willing to die on the sword for this one. So even on these longs, I'll take a $10 hit down here. 596, something like that. I mean, if I have to get out at 600, probably do that. But, you know, down here somewhere makes sense to me. 595. Like, we could be completely wrong. And if I am, then I will be getting some out. But I want to hold just to see what it does around yesterday's sort of jumping spot here, which was 601. I mean, it went up so fast. But remember, it's a $600 name. So, you know, like a $6 move, you're talking about 1%. You know, this name can go, we saw yesterday, 6, 7, 8% in a matter of time. So I think it gets marketed up today off open. I worry about the same thing that we always do, where I take this 614 long, and that tends to be the high because you get that market rush off the open. So I'm going to take it. It's just a matter of, will I win on that last part? I don't know. That's why today, when I came in, I wanted that 608 level, and I just didn't put it in time. And then you get that number at 830 spiking the market a little bit here, like right here. So it already ripped through 608. This was the best opportunity down here, 608 and change. But we waited for it. We got 610. We're happy with that. It was $3 in the money. We didn't take it. So that's my conviction, guys. And like Brendan said here, you're going to get the wow rating here for NVIDIA. So we like that. Take the 608, then take the 14, and then look out for all-time highs there on NVDA.
All right, we missed him yesterday, so let's bring him in right now. Arun is back. We have fixed the audio issue we were having yesterday. We apologize for that. Arun, we got that number at 8:30. Kind of turned things around after that unexpected little sell-off.
Yeah, it was, you know, that number was weird because the initial move off of that number in the first few seconds was actually to the downside, and then we just kind of head faked and then turned right around, and we're going up pretty strong at the moment. We're in an area where I would look for sells. It's awfully strong at the moment, so I hesitate on finding some more shorts up here. But if we can actually find some selling, and I think this is going to be around the open, you really got to keep an eye on the open at this point, just because that initial sell-off around 7 o'clock, 6:55, based on the vaccine, you know, the pulling of the vaccine or pausing of the vaccine, I'm very curious to see the implications of what that is when we open, because right now market's not open. It's a lot of back and forth. The number was, you know, what in one direction initially, we moved in one direction, then we spun right around. Now we're up 15 points off of that. So I am very curious to see how we play this open. So the level I've got marked off, 41.30. If we can sit underneath it and find some form of a sell, find some form of a setup, then I'm open to a short idea. Now, if that goes, then I think you've got to kind of spin your trade a little bit, maybe look for some breakout longs, 41.15 on the stop. But until that happens, I'm very curious to see if we can find a short, and if we can find a short after the open. Now, if we break before the open, I think the game changes a little bit, but I am very curious to see this open and see how we react in between 41.20 and 41.30, because that's the only level I've got. That's the only point of resistance I can find.
Yeah, market positive just like that. Thanks so much, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning as we head towards the open here. Under 30 minutes to go, guys. This altimeter growth up next on the watch list. Again, we're apparently having some technical issues this morning. Some people with some issues logging into the website. So we are working on that, guys. AGC, 1.3%, $40 billion SPAC deal. Yeah, they don't like SPACs right now in this market, guys. This thing has come all the way back and then some. 14, I guess, a bit of a pivot on the daily chart for AGC.
So they're not grabbing this one up like crazy? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It does feel like when you get these, when you get that announcement, we always come right back into that previous price. And you ask yourself, and I always say this, like, can we actually end up like defending like that 1380? Like, does it make any sense? You look at yesterday's close at $14. It ends up usually being like a coin flip from what I've at least recorded on most of these names. So I tend to prefer if they have the strength to maybe get a bit of a break back to the upside, as opposed to just sort of sitting in front of a bid and hoping that this one doesn't roll over too far. So for me, I was, came in here. I do have 1380 sort of written down, but the other thing, the other two numbers that I looked at is 1450. And then sort of that yesterday's top, like if it catches a bounce, like maybe you can get something like that, like buy on some actual strength instead of trying to catch a falling sword in a SPAC post-announcement, because that's been too limited success. If there's any kind of like a monster bid that shows up at that that 1380 to 14 range, that would be a different story, because I think it's certainly worth an idea there. But the fact that this got sold off so hard, I mean, if I get a 1450 break to the long side anywhere after the open and it can't extend to 15, I could so totally see myself flipping into the short once I'm looking at that high of day, because that's usually the play that I really, really like. If this thing was sitting at like 1480, 1490 right now, would certainly already be talking about how I'm looking for people to buy it off the open, and I'm going to fade into it at like 1530, something along those lines. But once the sell-off's already happened, throw it out the window. It's already come off 10%. It's now flat on the session, and you're either bottom picking, shorting the low, or waiting for it to break back up and buy on strength. So I prefer to go with the last of those, which would be buy it on any kind of strength that it shows. Otherwise, ignore it.
Here comes some, you guys getting ready for some great analysis. AGC. No more SPACs for me. Okay, I see this right here, guys. Brian James, Sean Mind is going this morning. Okay, that's a weird one. And then PaySafe is down Shakib. And the reason why I bring this up is because Shakib is a member of Hydration Nation. And then I'm adding some Kirkland multivitamins to the daily routine. So I brought these in today. So we will be popping these every day to keep the mind going. So there we go. So we're adding in Hydration Nation and Vitamin Nation. Now a new thing. So maybe you guys can come up with something for that. Hydration Nation, Vitamin Nation. We are going to, nah, you're not weird, Brian James. Come on, you're not weird. No, I'm just saying it's weird because I was going to talk. I just brought these pills in the other day. So I was like to my wife, I said, you know what? If I forget to have them if they're sitting there on the counter. So if I bring them in, I put them next to my desk. We talk about that. They're right there. Also, you know, you got the art here. You got a whole bunch of things. The vitamins beside the champagne. Okay. I don't know how that's going to work out for the health aspect, but it's Vitamin Nation now, Brendan. You gotta keep that mind fresh.
Shout out to our friends at Costco. Let's talk about Facebook, guys. Facebook, not on the watch list this morning, but just saw an interesting little headline here. Looking, you know, pretty positive here in the pre-market. We're coming back towards these recent highs, 315 and change, just above us. Up here, apparently they're testing a speed dating video app for Facebook.
They are.
How do we feel about this?
I mean, that's new news to me, but Facebook, man, just keeps on ripping. Like, I've been a lover of Facebook. I've been loving Facebook for a very, very long time. You guys know that. As soon as we got near this 50-period moving average, we were just buying this one hand over fist. It's one of my largest holdings right now, and I mean, that story, I guess it just released now. Speed dating app, I don't know, whatever. I mean, as we reopen up, we just had Bumble open up. Was it Bumble or Humble? No, it's Bumble, right? Bumble open up there, and you know, new IPO. You know, you see a lot of different things happening in the speed dating world. I don't know. I haven't speed dated in a long time, or ever for that fact. But now you go Facebook to the upside. I just think it just keeps on breaking highs. I don't think you can get your money into a better mega cap tech stock right now. Microsoft is my pick. I own more Microsoft. But just for the growth side of things, they haven't even monetized WhatsApp yet. So, I mean, whatever, man. I just keep on buying Facebook. I don't think you go wrong with that. We do have some 313 resistance here, but yeah, Facebook just a continuous long all of the time.
Yeah, you also have to consider the fact that you know, this wasn't the horrible inflation number, and Powell was out there for everybody in the markets on Sunday on 60 Minutes or whatever, and then looking for that, and then looking for these breakouts that can come here, and you got to look at that 315. I don't know if it's, you know, I don't know if this story is the reason that we're getting here today, but you know, there's been some chatter, Match and Bumble getting some attention recently, because quite frankly, what happens when people get up and about, right? Like people are going to be meeting people and looking for ways in which they can engage back in the community and dating, all that nonsense. So it won't be me, because I'm happily married, but certainly it's going to be a lot of people. And Facebook has the ability to get their hands in everything. I would be more concerned with this story for those other names than I would think that it's going to be the big mover for Facebook. But that break's going to happen at some point. I like that 315 if it gets there. Certainly, I think that's worth of a breakout story in Facebook, especially with the market and the NASDAQ leading the way. And hopefully we can get some of those wins with another strong tech day. Even though the ES is barely trying to hold up positive, that's mostly due to the whole J&J aspect.
All right, let's go to Bitcoin and crypto stocks. Yeah, we're still holding. Just checking out BTC, still holding right at the high. All-time highs or near all-time highs for Bitcoin this morning. Overnight, it was 62,741. That's been taken out already. I mean, a whole bunch of different directions we can go as far as possible trades are concerned for The equity side of things today, we've already mentioned a couple of names, but I mean, there's SOS, there's SI, there's MicroStrategies. What do you guys want to look at?
The reason I want to bring up SOS, everyone always asks about SOS, and you've got to be able to notice what's sort of been happening with this stock. And instead of a lot of times like outside moves to the positive end, where occasionally I'd see SI do that, SOS is the literal opposite. So I would simply say like this is not the play I'll be making to the long side. If you want to play in crypto, like just hold actual Bitcoin if you can, right? So that's the best way to go. I do like Silvergate as well, but if I'm gonna short something involved in this space, it's like 9 times out of 10 actually. It might even be 10 out of 10. It'll be SOS that I come into when it shows a little bit of weakness. Now, it's been beaten up already, so it's kind of hard to get anything further than like a 5 even like sort of break here to the downside if it does come back. And I say that because it's already bounced off 5. It's basically holding flat on the session. If there's any kind of a pullback, I mean, I got to look at that 5 even. If you want something to play to the strong side, you know, we've already talked about that BTCC to death. Everyone knows about riots and your Maras. I tend to really like Silvergate, but it's going to be one of those where it hasn't yet broken through the top. So interestingly enough, I do feel like if you're sort of with that adage that, you know, we make the fresh high in Bitcoin today and maybe there's going to be a little bit of a dip, if you're one of those believers, then I would tend to think you can wait for it to pull back. If you don't think that there's going to be any kind of a pullback, go ahead, take a breakout through the high. I'm not doing it on Silvergate. I'm looking to short SOS through $5 and play that on any weakness that I can today, at least in terms of day trading any of those Bitcoin names or crypto names.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at Mara, but the thing is that we're already, like, all these names are just up so much already today, like another 7-8%. They're not. I mean, this is why I've been recommending BTCC for everybody, because these names will fall more than the coin itself and go up more than the coin itself. So, and then they have situations where they can have share offerings and dilute the shareholder equity. So there's benefits to it, because if you see where Mara's come from, I mean, to say that Mara's been a mistake for investment has been a ridiculous comment, because we were $5 back in December when Bitcoin was probably around 25,000. I'll have to double check the chart for Bitcoin. Actually, I have. I'll get the year chart. Oh, here it is. I have the year chart up here. Yeah, Bitcoin. Yeah, exactly. Good call. Bitcoin was 19,000 in December, right? And so if you bought Mara when Bitcoin was 19,000, Bitcoin has tripled since then. And Mara has gone up over 10x, almost 12, 15x now, if we could take out 60. So look, it's a great investment. I don't have a problem with it. I just feel like right now, with the way that Bitcoin's moving and the way that Mara moves, I'd rather be in BTCC. But this 5450 here is great. If Bitcoin starts screaming off open, which it's not doing now, it's chilling around 63,000, then I think you take out this 5450. So that's going to be my play there. You did have some bottoms yesterday. I mean, if we can get anywhere near 51, 51.50, something like that, I think that's a buy for Mara as well. So you don't trade these things without watching the coin itself. So they'll go hand in hand today. I'm more excited, obviously. The only position I'm in here is NVIDIA with this $3 win, $2 to $3 winner. I like that play for crypto as well. Square and PayPal. Don't forget those names, Brendan.
Okay, I was just checking on some of the shippers. FedEx and UPS, both positive here. There was an upgrade on FedEx that I saw, but UPS saying Where to Go announces enhanced multi-channel logistics capabilities and e-commerce seller, including Amazon. So UPS and this one, catching a little bit of volume here, guys. I just saw FedEx pop up again to 295 there. What a move this thing has had as well. FTX, 1.4%. We can look at UPS maybe as well.
Oh, there we go. Low. Yes. So FedEx getting close. I mean, it's not actually. We're not at the highs from the end of last year, that 306 mark. We haven't broken back above 300. But this is one of those names that people tend to think, okay, well, when things get back to normal, and people are going to be getting out and they're going to be shopping in person. They're not going to need FedEx as much. I tend to not be a believer in that. Like, so you're going to sell your Amazon? You think that's going away? I feel like these conveniences and some of these changes have accelerated some things, and FedEx has made a great recovery. I tend to play the boring stocks that you should be buying them on dips, and then as a day trade, wait for you wait for the really big moves to take a shot on the day trade. Like 1.4% isn't it? A push into 300, a push into a high of the day is the kind of thing you're looking for, or like drops of more than like 2 and 2.5% are probably going to get you some action days. There is one. Sorry, at the end of the list, I got to go to it because I'll jump into some in shares of a couple of positions sometimes in the pre-market here that don't really move a heck of a lot. Like Digital Ally had the news story. It gets the pops whenever there's whenever there's an issue. Of course, when they do like body cams and whatnot. So whenever there's one of those issues that pops up, you're going to see Digital Ally move. I'm shorting that 1 second day. VTVT is at the bottom of our watch list. So for those of you that are able to get it here, this is VTV Therapeutics. They did have a breakthrough on diabetes treatment. However, if you look at the daily chart, which I just had up, what happens every single time this puppy pops? So it gets into that 330, 340 range and has faded back in. Consolidation usually happens in around like $2.80 to $3. So you're going to sort of notice a little bit of a theme here, like where I've shorted it is right around that $3 level. I got a 98 average price. I'll scalp some to that low of the day because that's what I kind of always do. 285 is the current pre-market low, on volume, I guess, after 8 o'clock, well, after 7 o'clock, let's say. And then if we push down, I always look at yesterday's target. Yesterday's close, a bit of a target price, so 257s where it closed. I really do think we have a chance. So I'll get some out in front of the quarters, and I have another bid in front of this current low. But I'll get some out in front of the quarters, the ultimate target being that 257. Now, usually that'll mean I'll be on the bid somewhere for the last quarter of the position in the 61, 62, 63 range. Tend not to say, hey, look, 57's where it closed. Let's just park a bid at 58. I mean, that's a little bit too lazy for me there. So got VTVT to the short side. Digital Ally, not really moving, but when you're looking at a day 2 play and there's no volume buyers coming in, that seems to be usually a good opportunity to fade it. It's worked in the past. That's why I'm sitting in it.
Okay, we're still watching Nvidia try to go upside here, and just to give you guys another name that we'll be looking at today at some point, not on our watch list, but Palantir here, down. It had a big move yesterday. Come on. It's .NY, we know that. Let's go charts. It did have a big move yesterday off the open. We did see that. Just came straight back. It's the opposite of what happened the day before. So on Friday, what day is it today? Tuesday. So on Friday, we just ripped straight up and we were able to catch this bottom before ripping it to highs, 24.35. The opposite happened. We lost on Palantir all the way down until we finally made that base. And the base is the same thing that's been made for a very, very long time. And that's like this 2280, 2290 area. So we still have that base here holding up strong on Palantir. Looks like it'll probably be there today again. So that was a name that I wanted to talk about because we are pulling back in. Oh, Randy, you saved the day again. Thank you so much. Ooh, hot stuff. I like that. Will we get in trouble for not showing the Trader TV stuff? But there we go. Thank you, Randy. Maybe I'll dump it in there and make a huge mess. Thank you for that, Randy, on the coffee call. But Palantir, though, guys, 2280. That's the dipping off spot there. I just want to talk about it. We will get longer through 23, and then we'll see if 2280 can hold. NASDAQ up today. Hopefully Palantir can run off of that from yesterday. So this is a name that I'm looking at. We'll check back quickly on the imbalance locator. J&J still is sell. We're going to look for that 155 defense level that we've talked about. RLX, Raytheon, that continues to be a buy. Or that's not Raytheon. RLX, what Raytheon is, what is RLX here? Quickly. Oh, RLX Technologies. Yeah, Raytheon's hundreds of dollars, obviously. That's why we knew that was wrong. So that's a bid there, heading to the upside right now as well. You can see RLX today up 5.8%. GE, AMC, and Taiwan Semis round off the board. And there's my little Palantir at the downside. We've got some bids near 23 on Palantir, guys. And there goes NVIDIA back to day's high. Let's see if it takes out to 614 at some point.
All right, let's go to the travel group. The group was hit the hardest, I guess, when that J&J news came out. Even worse than J&J itself, actually, to the downside. Just looking at AAL, still down 3.5%. They updated their current quarter earnings forecast. Was not positive, to say the least, 3.6%. I mean, 22 kind of held there in the pre-market, guys. It really needs to, I think, once we get open.
Yeah, I mean, if you can go to the long side, I think, and we've had Mark on say this, and it's hard not to agree that domestic comes first, and and also in a recovery, go with the cheaper names there. Move that so you guys can see it. So I mean, I like Spirit. I like Spirit a little bit better, like Save, for a bit of a bottom pick. It's hard to ignore, and we've shown these types of levels before. we've already broken this sort of 2275, 23 area to the downside, and that was sort of a key. It was a top, of course, it was a summer top. You also had a top here in early March, and then it tried to hold through, got a mini reprieve breakout through there, and now that looks like it's going to be the resistance level. So for me on American Airlines, if it's going to be the weak one, I think the fact that you're rolling over in that same like 22.75 range, you play the weakness and any pop into that level. And then if I had to pick one. And we can talk a little bit about CCL maybe a little bit later on, but if I had to pick one, it's got to be Spirit if you want something to the long side, right? It's just a much stronger looking chart here. You're on a 35 support area, so if you're buying this sort of weakness, Spirit's going to give you a much better look there. So let's have a quick look at SAVE on the daily chart. The volume isn't fantastic, which stinks. I know AEL is going to do more volume, so more people are usually interested in that particular name, but give me a shot at the open, volume sort of comes in, and a chance to maybe defend a 35 level with a bit of a tight area in front of it, and that's the one I'd go with. And I'd basically be selling strength in American Airlines if I could in that 65 to 70 range that we showed.
So I've done a shout out to Daryl to get some levels here on CCL because I really like, okay, there's NVIDIA now going back to the highs. So that's going to be a good trade. Hopefully that can smash through that and we maybe hold that all day. I thought this 2650 level, sorry, it's better on this, on a 20 period. I thought this 2650 level here from a little while ago may be something of concern right in here. This is 27, breakthrough 2650 downside, but I mean, we're well above 2650 now. When I sat down and made this list and talked about smashing it, we were much lower, 2680, 2690. So I thought maybe this J&J news may get us to this 2650 here on CCL, but you know what? I don't think the J&J news is really super crazy by any stretch of the imagination. So it looks like CCL maybe agrees with us there. You do have 2750 coming through, but 28 stands out. I mean, we topped out yesterday at 28. That's VWAP. I mean, it was probably close enough to VWAP at that time anyways. And then you do get a break down through 28, stopping at 2760. So there's not a whole bunch of risk involved in this kind of a trade, but I do like a 28 break in case the market gets going, but I'd rather see something else in here. I can't really find too many levels. I mean, whether or not we short off this 2750, that may be a level there, 2750 to short off, but either way, we got to wait to see it open up. So I put an all points bulletin out for Daryl if he wants to message us. Oh, there he is. He's talking right here. Okay, so his level here, 26. I'll put on the chart here on the chat. We love our family, and especially you, Daryl. Glad you got that hat. 2675. First test, yes. You don't want it to test it. No, we don't. So that's why I was thinking about smashing that 2650. So, I mean, there's 2675. I like 2650 to put on some bigger shares. But yeah, let's see what it does at 2675, the day low here. And then I like this 2750 a fade through there as well. So we'll see about getting some short on CCL.
All right, let's go to Chewy, guys. Interesting little note I saw before 9 o'clock here this morning from Morgan Stanley, apparently shopping a large block of shares for Chewy. This is not related, as far as I can see anyways, to the Archegos mess that we were dealing with the past couple of weeks. But Chewy down this morning on that. Tight consolidation on the daily chart, though. We're basically right in the middle of that.
I mean, if you wanted to shop a large block, I guess you'd want to do it on consolidation. Like you said, it's not that concerning. It's not the Archegos, which was just an insane story there. But I guess when you choose stocks by what the good Lord tells you to do, which is an interesting part about that story as well, you can run into some trouble. I don't think that's going to be the concern here for Chewy. You're not even seeing a heck of a lot of volume. There is the chance, and when you get a range-bound stock like this, that if there is that block that maybe pushes it downside, I mean, you've got some very clear and obvious levels to defend here. I'm gonna look at that like 75. So this turns into one of those multi-day events, and there is something to this, which again I'm not really thinking is going to be the case. Yeah, you can look back at like 75 and 76 and say, okay, well, if you really like it, just park something down there, and maybe this is when you get it. If I saw it break 75, that would be one of those like find a bottom, just find a way to get in there, like go all in type of day trades. Because I sort of look back at with the way Viacom went, and a lot of traders were watching that one. And I don't think this is going to be the case, but you always try to learn from those things. But the Viacom gave some opportunities off the bottom, at least in particular when things got out of hand at that 40, which was one of those things you just had to be really, really patient and say, let it fall, let it fall, let it fall. This won't be the case here, but I only bring it up on the 1 in a million chance that could happen here. I just don't think it will. I think the consolidation is going to be a benefit for Morgan Stanley shopping those shares. And good luck to you, Morgan, because I own you.
Okay. Yeah. I'm a Chewy owner as well. We're going to look to get maybe some short here on CCL if it gets back up to 20, near that 28 level. I do like that one. And yeah, Chewy, I have a level, so I'll go short earlier than the 75. Like this 81, I think, has a good opportunity here. If that can break downside, so that's $81. We're getting close there. You're only down that 1.7. No idea. I mean, we're selling huge blocks. Whatever, man. I mean, a huge block can get gobbled up easily by a dark pool, or there'll be buyers of Chewy. So yeah, obviously if it breaks 75, that's kind of a no-brainer. But for today, 81 may be something there for Chewy. So we'll see what happens. I have the order to sell it down through there. It's not going to be a big position. If we do take it, maybe then if it does run into the high 70s, like 78, maybe then we'll get some out. I don't think we test that 75 today. That would be incredible if we do, and then we'll already be short. So that should be fantastic. Just noticing that although Palantir, nothing's open yet, there is size everywhere. So NASDAQ and ARCA, right? This is different than what you normally see right now on Palantir, because normally you see NYBs starting to add up, but right now you do get high side with some of these gateways and these ECNs. So you're going to be just off market, how to trade off market, primary market. 2350 looks like that could be tested as well here on Palantir. I'd rather have a pullback, but 2350 is coming faster than we thought. Quick look again, not much happening. J&J just, I guess, voluntarily now delaying their rollout. So you can see that this is having not much of an effect. J&J rolling around down that 3% still.
All right, one more little one to talk about. LYL. Very, very difficult to get locates on this, it seems, today, but a little Chinese company popped up in the aftermarket yesterday. This thing is just doing nothing but going straight down. Watch 190. This was support, 190 in the pre-market, and then 2 to 210. If it gets above 2, it's probably going to squeeze, but watch 190 to 2 anyways. But looking like it's going to break to the downside here, but very difficult to get locates on LYL, guys.
Thanks a lot, Rennie. Yeah, I was trying to. I just checked again and I couldn't find any. Couldn't get any here. I see D-Train Choo Choo asking about Air Canada, Canadian airline. If you can't guess that by the name of Air Canada, now they just got a deal with the government, or made a deal with the government. They're going to resume a lot of operations in turn for some financing. It's already made. Look. The airline space has already made a significant bounce, but it is worth noting everyone's always trying to pick it up because you're not anywhere, especially with Air Canada. Like Brendan was saying, we're not doing as well when it comes to opening things back up, as you guys can all tell. Our Prime Minister getting made fun of, it is what it is, but I sort of look back to the fact there's so much room to run. Everyone's trying to catch this. It does feel like it's in the midst of a little mini breakout. There was this previous high, 28.25. This is not a bad area right here. If you're willing to give it back like 10% on a swing, I like it in front of that 25 for sure. And if you're looking for a hold, it's really a solid spot to be in here. I don't think you have the same sort of concerns with picking the right ones. I prefer Spirit in terms of the U.S. For that domestic reason, but I think Air Canada is a solid buy in this situation. Now the government's not going to let them fail. They might to me, airlines might as well be a utility. That's why I don't love holding them in the long term. But I like the swing idea here, especially if you can use that 25 to your benefit. I got to come to VTV. We have 2 minutes to go here till the open. I'm going to come. VTVT just broke down again, touched. And very, very briefly got below that 285, which was that previous low. So yes, I took some shares off. I was looking for that to break down a little bit further than it did. I have a rule. I'm not going to average into a short position if it retests 3 even. I'll look for it to fail on any test of this 3 to 305 area. If that happens, then I would take more shares to the short side.
Okay, I guess we don't need to worry about NVIDIA breaking the high side as it just comes roaring down there. So yeah, the NASDAQ breaking here, NVIDIA coming back down. So let's do a little more work on this name just in case. Neil talked about these levels, 600, 605, something like that. That could come into play
like too sharp.
very, very soon. So we'll wait to see here on NVIDIA. dropping down. We just took some more shares there, 609, 608. Now let's wait to see, guys. We are long 609.22 right now. So let's put some orders right here, 611. We can ring the register on that one. I mean, we're going to start the day off huge if this wants to rip. But if it comes down, then we're going to start the day off quite in the hole. So either way, we have a 606 area of concern a little bit here. But right now, we're talking about some upside on NVIDIA through 610, maybe back to 611. So we're long with a minute left to go. You know, I don't see too many areas of concern for me, but I mean, 606, I don't want to let that drop down through. So we may get out of a little bit at 606, but ultimately, I want to be a buyer of NVIDIA today. So let's see what does happen. Right now, we're long and in the money. Like, I'm talking like we're not in the money. We're in the money 40 cents right now, and I think we get a lot higher than this. So let's wait for NVIDIA, but we are in this name. More shares, triple the shares that we had the first place.
Yeah, you got to watch, like I said, you got to watch about 606, just looking at J&J proactively delaying rollout in
Yep.
Europe. I actually just had a bid here in front of that 156. It didn't get picked up on that little slight rollover. We talked 155.50 in that area to be a bit of a defense, but doesn't look like that's going to be the case. I know Randy's around here, and I see Ms. V next to me. That means he must be on the bell. So let's get this party started. It is Tuesday. Let's get it going. 5, 4, 3, 2. NVIDIA bouncing a little bit here.
The broom man is in the building.
There's always something new.
So thank you so much for that, the little broom action there. Yeah, okay, so NVIDIA, we're just watching at 609. It's just bouncing around here. The NASDAQ falling is not going to be good. This thing can snap dollars at a time. So NASDAQ going up would be nice. We are waiting at 611 to get some out here on NVIDIA. The only position that we do have on right now, NVDA, guys.
Yeah, and I did get some of that Spirit Airlines there, so it bounced right off that 35 almost immediately. I got 35.11s, was sitting on that bid. We said we'd look to defend that. If I can quickly get a scalp into this little range here and pick up like a 30, 40 cent scalp, I'll go ahead and do it. The volume hasn't really gone yet. And then I also got into SOS on that little break of 5 even. So we talked about shorting SOS. You knew I was going to be, that was the crypto name that I was going to look at for the downside plays. And it does break 5. I get 98 to the short side. It's right back at that range. It did go to 91, so I could have quickly scalped it out. I want to see what this one does here. Can it hold 510?
$3 in the money, and you see that happening right now for NVIDIA. So bang, bang, bang. We just got some out at VWAP there. That's a $2 winner, and we're going to hold the rest and see how high we can go, man. I mean, I'm going to wait for this 614 to break. If the NASDAQ goes, we're going to have a monster for us on board right now. We talked about Palantir as well. That name just took off. I was worried about NVIDIA, but this name just took off for us through this 250. So, sorry, 2350, right to the upside. It does dip down. And believe it or not, man, we were bidding 04s. So we were bidding a lot lower. I thought I was in the teens, but I was not. That just taking off. There goes. So NVIDIA right away, right back down. So we took some off. Thank God we took that off. Wow. NVIDIA right down to 606 again, guys. What's up, Bren?
Range, yeah. Moderna, guys, early strength here for Moderna. We mentioned was benefiting in the pre-market here from that J&J news. So just tagged 148 there on a huge volume spike for mRNA.
Okay.
Yeah, and here comes a bit more of a flush up. We're going to go power up to that VT because you are weak, and I love it when you are. We talked about rolling into this one and just going to play it nice and safe as we get some bids out, not looking to gift horse in the mouth. And that's my horrible segue to save Spirit here. So bouncing into the top end of the range. The volume isn't even that good. But if we do get a push to the upside, look, I just got short in American Airlines, so what I'm going to go ahead and do, if I can here, is try to get out in front of 36 on save, because I wanted to fade American Airlines, so I don't necessarily want to sit. If I can get the quick like 70 penny scalp here, I'm seeing a bit of a push to the upside in AAL, and I didn't want to fade that move. So I feel like maybe I should be looking at CCL as well, because if one went up, maybe the other did as well.
Yeah, we're just going to make sure that this doesn't break too much through here on NVIDIA, too much through to the downside. We did take some more shares. We're still fine. We're just waiting to see what happens there. I still think we can go upside, but we need to average in a little bit. It just touches down to 605 there on NVIDIA. On some NASDAQ, not really weakness at all. So if the NASDAQ does fall, NVIDIA probably tests a lot lower here, guys. So we're going to try to hold our cards a little close on NVIDIA, as it's not really moving the way that we thought it would. It did right away. We got right back up to that VWAP. It did take it out. We only took out a third and then a third out there. So right now we're flat on the trade, but it needs to go up. I still do like that one. Palantir bouncing around. Oh, we could check in on NEO. I have some lower bids waiting to go on NEO as well, but it's trying to hold that 37.50 area. Watch out for the high side, 38.25, in case this thing goes. That's yesterday's high, 38.25 on NEO. I like that trade as well.
Yeah, and that's another good trigger for me because I actually just got into NVIDIA, and I'll be candid about it. I'm going to take the dollar hit here. That's a bit of an accident. I saw that 605 bounce. I'm like, okay, 606 area test. I went to put a stop order in if 605 broke to the downside, and of course I bungled it, so I keystroked in. So you're going to see me take a hit on NVIDIA. It's essentially like paying the spread to take that hit, but it had not broken that 605 bottom. 605.03 is the low, and if I want on a breakdown, it doesn't matter if it falls here, guys. That's not the way that I intended on entering the trade. So I can't just sit here and hope that it's going to end up working out in retrospect. If it does break that low, I'll have a look at that 605 break on NVIDIA. And just for that gap fill sort of aspect of the trade.
Yes. We're still going to wait for it to go upside, hopefully. We're still long out here at 607.95. So here it goes now, 608 again, so good trade here. Hopefully, again, we could take it out now and be fine, but I do still think that we retrace to the high side here on NVDA. What's up, Brendo?
Another one coming off from the highs, guys, NVCR. This is that one that went from 130 to 270 in the pre-market. Just broke back below 200, guys. Still up 54% for NVCR.
Yeah, and I didn't short that one because like VT is great, but I even said like I don't even know, maybe might have tweeted it, might have put it in the chat. One of the two. Like, what am I even thinking about? Like, you just look. I know it's $250, but like you take an amount of shares that in your head it's a $25 stock or $250, depending on the risk tolerance here, and you play it the same way. It gave you a consolidation. Now I'm looking back to like 215 to 225 to fade any strength. It was just not so much, guys. You just got to think about just what the stock has done to you guys. And I do feel like I'm going to get back into it. Pretend it was $2, pretend it was 22, and then play it in that range if it gets any more strength into 215.
Okay, fly, young fellow, fly. Let's see what NVIDIA wants to do. Up to 613 right now, guys. So we talked about this trade and how much we liked it. We had to take some out at 606 there. That's just the risk tolerance. Bang! We go to the chicken dinner winner now as we just keep on rocking here on NVDA. We knew we didn't like the short down there, guys, but we did have to get out. I just should have given it that extra little dollar, and we'd have even more shares as we punched along now through 614. So let's wait to see. We got back into this one long. We talked about why we love this name, and that's the thing, man. If it's only going to take one trade for you all day, why not do this one? Because you don't need too many bangs to get going, because here you go, 616 right now. You like that one, Trader TV, Randy? Thank you for the coffee, got us lit. Thank you for the vitamins. Thank you for everything. Hydration Nation is in the building. Take it, Neil, let's go.
Yeah, and if you're gonna get the NASDAQ moving up, I hate to say it, but wanted to fade in those airlines. Maybe Spirit goes, and Spirit was a great, fantastic long, but it is what it is. I'll go gates of hell for AEL. We took it in front of that 250 first leg. Didn't even get a second entry point, just took some shares out there in front of the quarters. Also happens to be VWAP. That's a little bit of a coincidence as well. As you know what crypto stock I'm going to always be short in. I'll get back to SOS in a quick second, but there goes the NVIDIA breakout through 615, and Mud's on the move as well. I see you guys in the chat.
Hot dogs. Yeah, we're just going to wait on this one. Let's check out CC. I mean, 617, 618, 619. See ya, NVIDIA. And again, guys, it's the only thing that I tweeted out earlier on here about NVIDIA today on Twitter. So you guys can check that out as well. Now, $6 in the money on NVDA. We also love some Palantir at $23.50. We don't have it, though, because we're too busy celebrating, which is fine. Like I said, one trade can do it all. We're 1.5 times daily now, as NVIDIA just keeps on rocking. Neil, 618 now. Like, this is the thing. Do you remember Brendan created a new thing for me, and it was the new rating system? Wow, NVIDIA, wow. Take 608, then take 614. Can't do it any better, Brendan. Let's go.
All right, AGC just getting smoked, guys. We talked about this record SPAC in the pre-market here, just straight downside. $14.60 to $13 here for that AGC, guys.
There it goes, man. 617 out now. Wow, big time wins, man. Now $4 in the money, but look at this. We're initially in the money off 07. That's a $10 winner, Neil. So we're spinning the money around. $10. We put that in our pipe, and we just keep on going to the upside. Let's find some more winners.
Everything I have on right now, basically, but except for Afria, because Afria just did this. just popped right into that 1380, 14 range we talked about, showing a little bit of strength post earnings. Now, remember, the stock has already gotten cracked. It broke down in the pre-market. This is one of those, if it makes that sort of dead cat bounce, this is the level that has to go. It's got to break back through that 14. 1380 was yesterday's bottom. That's why I'm short in front of that price. 76 is what we have to the short side here. I like a nice little rollover, rubber band type of effect, but you got to have a stop. You really got to watch out for this one through 14 because from there, it actually could turn a bit of a, like I said, dead cat bounce, turn into a long. 95 is where this one closed. So if there's only one stock that has me in danger, it is 100% going to be Afria. I'm short across the board here. And SOS now at 490. So worked into that one up to 510, got out, got back in when it broke 5 even. I've been net short that one the whole time. The only thing worrying me is Afria showing some actual strength today.
Brendo.
They like MUDs again today, guys. This Murdoch, speaking of SPACs, this one definitely not weak. 5.7% at the high there. Just took out yesterday's high. 13.25 straight to the upside for MUDs again.
Yeah, that's that Tops one, Mudrick SPAC. I'm done with the SPACs. I've already given the thumbs down there. We have, basically we have a lot of money in PaySafe right now. But the money that we have in PaySafe doesn't, look at what's happening right now to NVDA, man. 620? Come on, Neil. Let's switch charts. There we go, 620 now, taking it out, man. NVIDIA just ripping. We have a $5 winner on, but realistically, man, we were long here at 607. These are all long. The problem is it does break that 606, but we buy it right back. So we miss out on $1.50 of this move because we did have to buy it back. So that's fine. That happens to me all the time. We get that basically the worst wick we could get. And then it goes right back to the top. And that's not even a wick. I wanted to go short. Not go short. I wanted to get out at 606. We talked about that earlier on in the day when we looked at the longer term time frame for NVIDIA, but now up to 620. I'm just going to hold this, man. This is just a big trade for me. So we'll wait to see what NVIDIA wants to do now as it approaches all-time highs. It's already at there, all-time high. Every tick up is an all-time high. Let's see what it does around 620. Here it goes, guys. Wow.
Yeah, what a big time mover. I love you, NVIDIA. It's been a long time coming for that stock to go rounding out. Afri is still making some presses to the high side. So yes, we'll do this and not look a gift horse in the mouth. Yeah. Digital Ally, that other short is starting to work to the downside. They're all going, but always be concerned, for me, going to be concerned with the one that is showing some strength. Now, if it starts to come back down here, Afria, bit of a rollover to trying to happen here at that 1380. On the way down, as we're going to look to add some more shares here, not necessarily jumping in front of it. So we just, of course, it's SSR. Always remember, Neil, that it's SSR, so I have to sit passively. Short sell restricted, that means I need an uptick. Just got one, was able to take some more shares. Now we're dug in. I'm not going to add any more to this Afri. It either holds these levels at 1380 to 14 area or Gonzo. Brendo?
JD.com. We talked about Alibaba yesterday with that fine coming out over the weekend, antitrust fine. This one was down this morning. Regulators still warning some of these companies about further investigations. 78 just got taken out there for JD. Ripping to the upside, guys.
I guess yesterday we had a monster winner on Alibaba. I'm like over the moon with this NVIDIA trade. It's trading so well and just keeps going up. And exactly, I love that wow recommendation too there. I like that Brendan brought that to my attention and maybe a new way to rate stocks. Wow, and maybe something else. We'll figure that out.
Whatever the opposite of wow is, that's AAL. AAL just broke the low through 22. It's now 70 pennies in the money. Look, the market is screaming. That's the NASDAQ, but the ES is flat, and the travel space is getting punked. So we had to find the places to fade. So we talk about the yin and the yang, and the yin is tech up, and the yang is J&J bad news, and bad news here for the travel space as well. Fresh lows on AAL.
Okay, so CCL, we talked about that one. I had some orders upside to get short on CCL, but look, we've known about this for a long time, the rotation out. We have bank earnings coming, so that could be something also that we're going to pay attention to here with what's coming through. The bank earnings should be a good rotation, in my opinion, out of banks, but hey, if inflation's going to be here and rates are going to go higher, you do kind of want some money in these banks. So we'll wait to see where they are off report. You could see this, like that move we talked about there, no, Neil just mentioned NASDAQ ripping, and so you do see some value coming off here in some of these names. We may have just seen the high there at 620. That's probably a good spot to get out instead of just waiting here. 620, 619. I think we'll take some NVIDIA off now just so we don't mistakenly fall over ourselves here because we are long that 614. It just made a huge high. So let's just keep on going with NVIDIA. Put an order around 619 to get some out. What's up, B?
All right, even this one benefiting today on the vaccine front, guys. Novavax, 10.5%. Just took out day highs there for Novavax. Theirs still isn't even approved yet, guys.
Yeah, I mean, look, I can't get into Novavax. I know it's a good mover. I know you guys, a lot of it for a day trade. It's fantastic. I had to go back to Digital Ally. The first short that we had on today was, well, no, we had VT and Digital Ally at the same time. This pops into that 195. If you guys were watching the show at 3:15 to 4 o'clock, that fastest 45 minutes that Sean always talks about, which is so true, this would not go. I tried shorting it off $2. I said if it opens below that 95 range, I wanted to fade it. That's exactly what we've done. Look at that top. It's 194. That's where I got my last shares in. Going to start to take it off. Why? Because there was a bit of a breakout at these prices, that 180 to 185 range. So I'm going to get shares out in that range if I can. Maybe settling down is Afria. Like short AL's in the money, that's at the low of the day. I mean, Digital Ally showing you SOS in the money and VTVT, but it's Afria, the only one that was not necessarily cooperating. It's starting to try to roll over here, but it's not. Oh, there we go. There's a bit of a move to the down. As I say it, literally, it finally goes down. I'm going to sneak some out there in the mid, in sort of like in that 65 to 70 range. It's got 69s there. As strong as it had felt on that move to the upside, I did get some more shares on the rollover. It was just not nearly as weak as I thought. I kind of thought it would get dumped back into 1350 a lot faster than this. So like we always say, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Try to take the wins where you can. Nothing I'm holding is going up, but the net is at least. So found the right place to be in the market because NASDAQ strength, ES just turned red on the day. Brendo?
850 on AMC just got taken out there, guys, to the downside. We were talking about this a couple days ago. So that last kind of line in the sand for support on AMC being tested.
All right, and we just got out, so we finished our trade, so we put it in our pocket now. Even though we're now testing again up to 620, it's too big of a winner, to not get out of this. So we are out. We could have held it. I think we did pretty damn good holding this thing for I don't know, $11, $12 there, out at 619 from a 7 print. So I think that's pretty good. So we just take a $12 winner there on the last part of it. We've been long NVIDIA. It's my number one stock, my biggest trade. Individual trade of the week just happened right there. So NVIDIA, good little trade there. Shout out to Hydration Nation. Shout out to Vitamin Gang as well now, making that money through every means necessary as we try to continue this love affair with the markets and with you guys. Thank you for joining us, man. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Something's been going on with our subscriber numbers, so we're not going to celebrate until we get confirmation of where we are. But I mean, we're right there anyways. There is NVIDIA now taking out the high again. Probably should have still had this one, but hey, my discipline gets me. I mean, I can't, I think can't claim to be a disciplined guy and not take $12 there. So I took that, and it just looks like it was getting high-sided there. I don't know. I'm not going to short NVIDIA, but 620 seems to be pegged right now. So maybe we get a break of 620.50. That could come through, but I'm happy with my NVIDIA win so far. Yeah,
you got to be happy with it. And playing the market, I just sort of briefly mentioned the ES turned negative. SOS back down to that 490 range, so we did pick some shares out. Did get some shares out. I got nothing at that 482 wherever it spiked to. And if I can zoom out a little bit here, just to show you yesterday's bottom. Yeah, that's it, 484. So we probably should have had a bid down at 44, 485. I'm going to hang on to this, see if it can't re-hold that 5 even area. Just worth noting, I just noticed that Quantscape got green side. I think we talked about this in the afternoon, right, Sean?
Yeah, I bought some. I mean, I tweeted this out yesterday. I bought some at 41.
Quantscape just went right down to the pre-market low, bounced all the way to this afternoon top at 43, and is now holding again. So I'm looking at that. I know it's 43.15, but Quantscape usually has a 10-15 cent spread. I mean, breakout central if it gets through this 43 area. Call it 43 quarter, call it 43 even, whichever one you like. But this looks like it could possibly be on the move here today after what was a few sessions of weakness.
Yeah. We bought it yesterday at the close there. I don't know. It's got to be crazy. No revenues, new company. I don't really like what's happening to some of these new stocks. But, hey, man, Quantumscape's going to be one of those plays I'm going to make and then just wait to see what it does here. NEO. Oh, God damn. Oh, no. 38.25. We just talked about that on NEO. Should have got longer down here, man. Darn, we talked about this 37.50 level, not even paying attention as it's just ripping right now. And NEO, what's up, Ms. V?
Hey Sean, Tesla is all over the chat. Stock made a big jump at the open and still going to the upside. Do you see any opportunities in Tesla for yourself?
Tesla? No, I never heard of that stock. Okay, but we will look at it though. Tesla, what is it? TSLA? All right. Yeah, wow. Okay, you are right, Miss V. This did make a big move. Wow, up 3 and a bit right now. Wow, so forget about NVIDIA. This one off that 700. Yesterday at the close, again, you know, join us for the close show. We were long here, 701, 702. We made profit on it. We got out, but it wasn't great. It was like, you guys saw me, 703.50. We tried a 704.5 print, didn't happen. But today, absolutely taking off here. I don't know if there's individual news about Tesla. Maybe Brendan has something. We'll find out about it. But 715 here looks pretty good. We are now above the 50 period, although I don't think that's accurate because we're missing all this data. But we're well above this little jump spot here. 716. Wow, 726. What's up, B?
Yeah, there wasn't much on Tesla this morning. Obviously, Bitcoin all-time highs. But I saw a couple of people with notes kind of including Tesla now as one of the crypto stocks. But yeah, nice technical break for Tesla today. This one as well, Zscaler, ZS, 4.3%. We're coming up to 200 on this thing once again, which is a huge level on the daily chart, but a nice little pop-up for ZS today, guys.
Zscaler.
That's got to be worth a look here. I'm going to come back to, just because remember we got out of that Spirit Airlines, I was a short in AL, and then the second that popped in, I got out of that little bounce buy in Spirit. So if there's going to be a turnaround in any of these names, especially in the airlines, it's going to be like a flip. Like I'm going to go back the other way, get out of American Airlines and look to get back into Spirit. So that was the nature of the game. We said which one we like short, which one we like long. The only thing I missed out on was certainly potential trades there in CCL. I can tell you Afria is still showing, if I can get this symbol right, called it up enough that I should be able to get it without like typoing like 8 million times and then not trying to pull up New Zealand. But Afria finally, don't freeze on me, finally gave that look. And we showed you live when it popped down. I'm like, I should take some shares out, 69s. And then it comes right back to the top. So still showing some strength. It certainly is the one for a little bit of concern to the short side today. As much as everything has worked well, I've only had the one long in Spirit that was good. And Afri needs to get back to VWAP. Because we just had that bounce shy, I'm probably going to have to take some for what'll only be like a 10-cent win again. And then think that, you know, at this point, I'm not even giving it to 14 even. It's showing enough strength for me here that I might just take this one off at 13.90 on a break and save what we have. Hold what is winning. I got a lot to the short side here. So hold what's actually working and get rid of what I was immediately concerned about when I got into it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing. Trade the names. We talk about that all the time. Like, make sure that you're confident in the positions that you're putting on, and that way you don't have anything to worry about if and when you know, they crash down. Get your levels, get your positions, and trade what you're confident in. Because if you're not, then you're going to let it go, right? And I think that that's a good case here with NVIDIA today. Like, I mean, here it goes, just ripping, rip. Like, it just keeps on going. Here, hold on a second. 623. And this is what I want to talk about. Like, I missed out on this opportunity, but I saw it bounce a lot of times, or a few times, 3 or 4 times off 620 there, and just nervous about the NASDAQ retracing down. So again, we put that in our pocket, and it's a fantastic trade, but we are now going more and more to the upside. I did want to talk about NEO. That was another stock that gets going pretty easily here. We are at some key levels again with $38. So that's going to be a spot to look at on the long-term time frame. QS bouncing around there. I was looking at that. Thanks to Neil for bringing that up. But here we go. We do have a 38, little bit of a spot right here. So I think we'll defend some 38 love right now on NEO, just in case it wants to continue to go. But we've been, you know, pretty negative on this name. I think it needs more work. I don't want to just hop right in. What's up, Brenda?
AFMD, little one we talked about back on Friday. If you remember, a big move up on Friday. They said they were going to present some data coming up this morning. So that conference call is currently underway. Looks like it's positive so far for this AFMD, up 8.5%, guys.
So what is positive? You said 38, and I thought it was like Quantscape's not at 38, but it was NEO that you were talking about there. So little freak out abated there. A fresh high since the open. Now remember, pre-market prices don't count for a lot of people. So that 215 area was why we were looking at MVCR. Bit of a failed breakout look here on this name. Now watch out. It does. The spread's less than $1 now, but trust me, it's been a lot bigger very many times. If it does pop here, whoops, didn't mean to get long in Afria. So remember when I just tightened my stop in Afria? It was at 14, and then I moved it to 13.90. Got out, saved myself some money, but accidentally got long. I know it's going upside, but I took it out for a 1 penny win because I didn't mean to be long. But NVCR, guys, if it does make that push, it's not good enough for me to short that 215 with the spread I'm seeing here. I actually want to see it try to pump into that 220 range, the higher end of that range that we had talked about earlier. I think there's still some room for it to be a retracement short, but I'm not going to fight that one too far. I think I'd rather see it make a big move that I can play off of. On the other end of the coin here is that SOS, trying to get back to that 5. It's in that range where I can now think about shorting more pops into that 5 even after we've played it. We got an early look there off the open when 5 broke. It starts screaming. I always have that rule, like, don't average in hard at the open. Wait for the actual turn. That's what we did at the very top. So it's a bit of a patience play. I've seen this before. Like, I've done it before, where I've been like bang, 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 bang short, and then it's just like you get yourself absolutely crushed. Don't want to do it. Wait. If you're wrong, but you're convicted in the trade, you know where your level to the top is those teens. You get into it where you like it. And then I also have to now watch out for American Airlines on what I mean, I thought was going to be a bit of a deeper flush. I thought we'd get to 21.50 there. Maybe it's greedy looking for $1 on American Airlines. You know what? Not maybe. It is greedy looking for $1 on American Airlines. If it does retest the low, I'll get out in front of this 65 area, maybe take something in the 75 range. You've got to be happy making like 60, 70 cents on this. And if it comes back into VWAP and I can short 22s, I'll take a look at that for AAL. That's the one I want on weakness. Tesla, I can't believe it. We trade Tesla almost every single day in the last week, except for today when it goes through 720.
Yeah, that sucks. Okay, we are waiting for some Neo love. I guess I can cancel these really low bids that we did have. So we went long. I mean, my only position on right now is NIO to the long side. We just took some 614s. I like getting in at even down here. I'm not worried too much about VWAP. I'm more worried about down here, 37.50. So we'll start it now. It'll be a loser, obviously, if it continues to come down against us here. But I do like Neo on some of this movement to the upside. And I mean, look at Square. Square just continues to go, man. You know, last buy on this one tweeted out 212 for you guys, like right when it was at 212. So now you're up to 274 Square, taking out all-time highs, Brendo, I believe, with this one, 283, not taking out, but approaching 283 on my board. I have it at 283.20, so 283.19, yeah, right here. The all-time high intraday close, not intraday. It looks like we might have got there to 283.50 or so, but it doesn't matter. 283 all-time highs here on Square, and still making moves to the high side there. Check back in on NVIDIA, now 624. Holy crap! This would have been a $20 winner. Well, let's call that what it is, $17 winner to the high side there. We dumped it, but that just keeps on going. Let's check in on NVIDIA, on AMD actually, 80.50. Okay, we'll take that. A nice bounce from yesterday. We saw it get crushed yesterday as NVIDIA tried to tell everybody how much better they are than AMD, which apparently they are. But 78 bottom, a nice move back here on AMD. This sell-off was well overdone. I want to get AMD long. I'm going to find you some levels. What up, B?
Just a heads up, guys. If you're trading anything crypto related, Citron just put out a tweet. It looks like it is actually positive, but he's talking about GBTC and Riot specifically versus BTC. So it is, as they've said recently, they're going to go more positive with their little notes here. So heads up, Citron talking about cryptos, guys.
I mean, I've already talked about that there is no correlation there. So I don't know what that is, but we've already talked about that. Please, guys, just be very, very careful if you're going to value BTC and Mara, Riot. I mean, Neil talked about it too. SOS, SI, those things. The only real purpose ETF, well, it is purpose ETF, it's called, but the only ETF that I trust is that BTCC.B, which, I mean, if you look at that right now, BTCC.B over here in Toronto, TTT, there it is. Yeah, see, 1182, so up nicely here and continues to go. Not that crazy, lots of size, and just makes a lot of sense to me. So I'd be in that one, but we've already talked about that.
Yeah, and look, I'm going to go with this one, a fist bump here. Some people are saying, like, I've seen on the chat every now and then, it's like, okay, well, what can you get out of the show? It's not always about following positions, but there was a point in the morning, well, I mean, it's still the morning, obviously. It was a point like 10 minutes ago when I was sitting in like 6 shorts and all of them were fantastic. I was in the money. I'm like, this is all great. And then I was like, no, we're only talking about Afria because Afria just looked a little bit strong for me there. And that's why I was focused on it. Could I have reversed into it and gone long? I did accidentally. Guys, I took that 14 when I had moved my stop. But we always say this, get out of it if you don't want it. Sure, it's going to work out. I think you can always learn from when are people concerned about the other direction of the trade? Like, remember, there's always a counterparty. So you can always learn from the levels and take it the other way. If you're bullish on Afria, and when I'm sitting there saying, oh man, it can't go any further than that 65 to 70 area, I got to take some profit here. Well, maybe you're bullish. Maybe that's where you like to dip buy. I don't know, but maybe you can learn a little something from it. I was on the short side of that trade. I'll show you that I took the hit on Afria. I took out a little bit out for profit, but it's going to be a losing trade for me. And so the short side, it's just going to happen. There's not much I can do about it. I should have shorted NVCR. I sort of went over what I was waiting for there, and I guess I shouldn't have waited. I guess I should have just taken it when it failed at 215. It looks like it's headed right back towards that 200 range. I don't like breakdowns of stocks that have a dollar spread, but if this retakes 200, it's going to be hard to not try to trade it. I'm going to take a look at it. I probably won't go huge size. I would have liked it if it failed at 225, but a 200 break is certainly looking like it's going to be in the cards. I still hold Digital Ally. It's now at that low of the day. I'm bidding 181. I should get on the bid here, get some bids in front of 182 as well, and that 181 bottom, which is like 182, 181 half is the lowest print that I've seen. And SOS I'm still holding on to. There is one other name, and I'm going to get to Tesla, because even though you miss it, look, you can't run away from the stocks just because you miss a trade. You can't force anything either. But if Tesla, and 720 was a bit of resistance. So that's why I want to sort of come back to some of these levels here. If it does fail at the quarters, I'd be looking back to that 713, which was sort of like that best price that we were getting on the longs yesterday. So if it comes back down, I'm looking at 713, not like 715, not 710. 713 would be the price range that I'd like on any kind of a bounce. Doesn't seem like it's failing. It seems like it's breaking to the high, so we might miss that opportunity. Got to have a dip buy ready to go, though. 10 o'clock? Happening now? I guess so. Let's go to Brennan.
All right, guys, 10 o'clock. It is indeed. Let's have a look at North American markets. A little bit of a mixed story so far. S&P has gone positive, as we said, 0.07%. The Dow, not so much, 0.45 to the downside. It is the NASDAQ leading the way as far as positivity for the entire market is concerned. About 1% for the 100, 0.76 for the composite. Small caps are lower, 0.3%. You can see Toronto here, the TSX positive, but only just 0.12%. A couple of things we were talking about in the pre-market. Chewy with some minor headlines that came out just before we came on here. 82.5 up to 84. That's been about it. Volume already dying off on some of these, so a heads up that way. Organogram, however, was down after earnings in the pre-market here. You can see they reported this morning, but this thing's been straight higher, trying to get positive even for OGI. Guys, back over to you.
Trying to get positive OGI. Okay, let's see. Look, I'm going to take a quick look at Sundial because I know it was making a bit of a march off the bottom to $1. And if I have to fade one, I mean, if you don't know by now, then you're never going to know that I like to short Sundial on strength in the weed names. But 275, you're going to see the bottom. Yesterday's action OGI, you're going to have the poor earnings. You're going to have a potential for rollover. Yes, as much as I like Sundial, this setup is entirely too good. It's going to be failing right at those lows. It's similar to what Afria just did, but OGI was a weaker name, at least particular today, because we'd already had a bit of a move in Afria. It is going to be short sale restricted because it has already come from down more than 10%, and that just simply means you cannot sell to the bid. You have to place a passive offer. If you get an uptick, good to go, but you have to have that uptick. So it is what it is. SSR rule comes into play quite often, and we have to abide by it. We can't get around it. So I have to sort of patiently wait to see if we can't pick some shares up at this 70. It's a 72. Someone has to hit the offer to pick me up here. Otherwise, I'm not going to get into position. I'll look at Sundial in a quick little second here, but that NVCR looking like it might be making a bit of a bounce. So it could still be in play to get a pop into 225.
I see some headlines from Cisco here, official sponsor or whatever, dealing with the NFL. So that's always a good sign here, I think. Anyways, we'll wait to see what's going to happen with Cisco. This is the 1 minute chart. So a little bit of a, what is this? That's a VWAP? Okay. Have you ever seen? That's crazy. Okay, so 51.80. It doesn't look like it wants to do too much, but good news there coming through. Watch out for a 53 break there on Cisco, but we're still ways away. That's a daily chart here. This is the 1 minute, a nice little move up. That's hilarious. I don't know what happened to the data right there. Okay, NEO coming off a little bit here, kind of as expected. These are very, very light positions. As I said, I still plan on averaging all the way in, so we could have our first loser on here today. We'll wait, but we've only only had NVIDIA on, so we'll wait for that. We traded a little bit of Ether and things like that, but right now 37.80, looking for a bouncing spot here on NEO. I do have some bids coming in. My next bid is 83. Like, how low did that touch? 85, so maybe we got to get a little more aggressive here on NIO. That might have been the dip there. I do like it. We are looking to defend this 37.50 area. That came into play yesterday as well as basically as the high of this move. We got going real early, made a move down, was able to pick some up, and then this was 37.50 right here. So we did have some issues yesterday right around this time, like 10:30, some issues at 37.50, and then today, 37.50 is kind of where we danced around a bit before taking off. So we're going to wait. I mean, I'm long at 10 now. This is not even close to being an issue, but we'll wait on it. I want to pick some more up here at VWAP. Too bad I missed it by a couple pennies or we'd be in the money now, but I'm holding it out for this 37.50 area. So let's see if it retakes the high. Nothing wrong with getting some out if it does that. I mean, we're long at 10, so let's put some orders here at 30, guys.
Okay, so as soon as I hit that, I was like, I'm going to AL. I probably shouldn't show that one. So anyways, I hit it because I did get out of AL at that bottom. It did go to 21.65, 21.70. Took the profit there. We'll end up with that 75-cent win. Yeah, I mean, that's not a good joke. I shouldn't show that for American Airlines, obviously. I wouldn't show it for Boeing either. But anyways, out of American Airlines, I'm going to look to see if we can't catch a bit of a bottom. ES is returning, so I want to see where I can get Spirit Airlines on the long around that 35, especially if it retakes it. But I did finally get Organigram. This is the downside of the SSR rule when you're trying to short a play like this in a consolidation. Is when you get the fill, it's usually when it's just bounced, right? So I'm going to get it against me here. I don't like giving these usually all the way to the high of the day, or that next sort of round number high of the day, like 280. So this is one of those rare occasions where I'll actually get out if it takes out like 76, 77, and then not wait for 280 just because it's shown so much strength. And Sundial doesn't set up for me too well just yet. That one has to maybe squeeze a little bit further. I just mentioned the airlines and getting out of American, and then looking. When I get out of American Airlines, I want to roll into something in Spirit if it can show some strength. It has yet to break back up, however. So I do want to see this thing, maybe get off the bottom at least a little bit here and then break back above like at least 34.80. I mean, you can see like this range it's put in at the bottom, but the play was going to be reversed from one to the other. I did it once, got out of my Spirit long and got short in American Airlines at the top. Now I'm going to get into Spirit when it breaks 34.80. If they all go to the downside here, then it looks like I would have made the wrong call, but I should still be up if I play it right. Brendan?
A little solar company just popping up here, guys, on volume through 24, I guess it was, for NiSource, NI. Still down on the day. They actually announced a contract with the state of Indiana for a solar project today, but down this morning, trying to get to positive on the session, but not so much on the overall day. Back up at 24.75 yesterday, guys.
All right, I want to look at Chewy. Good little look. There's some solar names. I talked about EV and this whole wind solar idea. I don't know why these things aren't. We talked Jinko Solar reported last week as well, so we did have that name on our mind. But here's Chewy, does not. Like, what about that big block there, Goldman? It does not look to be affecting the stock whatsoever, although it's still down that 0.88%. I don't know if they've done it. I don't really see any big blocks here. I mean, obviously we have an opening print that happened, but other than that, I mean, I'm not really seeing anything on Chewy. I just wanted to check back because I know that it's a name we talked about, and we talked about shorting it through 81, and it's just not coming out for us, or not coming up for us. J&J, I mean, I talked about 155 right here on our sticky note. J&J 155 is right at the top. Will it hold? It never got to there, guys. So there it is. Will it hold? It didn't matter. It didn't get there. So that was a good little level there. I thought that this news story was just way overblown to the extent that J&J didn't even deserve to get fall, but
it's not fair.
Deserved to fall down. But the idea is here is that J&J still under some pressure. I think that's probably about right, man. 2-3% or so down on J&J. It's not great news. Whenever you have a vaccine that has some kind of a side effect, possibly, I can't see that as being good news, Neil. But I don't want to go long. This might be a good short here.
In terms of the rollover right now, yes, but a bit of a learning experience here for me because I don't usually day trade J&J, but I can tell you this much. If you're looking to buy the dip off of what was a 155.50 on the daily chart and it broke 156 and the pre-market went like 20 cents, maybe don't try to get the perfect price. I'm sitting in front of 156. I went 15 cents above. It got to 156.30, and that's me picking up no shares. I wanted the dip buy in J&J, and then it's like you don't get it because I'm a bit of a klutz. And look, admittedly speaking, I don't think I've maybe traded J&J off of the open like one time ever. So, I kind of take that as a learning experience. Should have started that one like 20 or 30 cents higher, maybe even 40 or 50 to be perfectly honest with you, Brendan.
If you like to live dangerously, TIRX just popping up on day lows here through 1925, broke 19. In fact, still extremely thin. Be very, very careful if you're trading this. This thing's already gone from 25 down to 19. It was 90, what is that? 97.80 at the top yesterday.
And sometimes the best trade you make is going to be, well, I mean, it can be the trade you don't make, or it can be the losing trade. I didn't touch that stock yesterday because that was just so crazy. There's so many things that you can look at in the market. But VTVT, this is it taking out that 310 range, right? So this is the level we said. It's like don't average in, don't average in, don't average in. Wait for it to retest at after 9:30 on any kind of a strength. It does so. I only get the shares in front of that 310. It breaks it. I get out. Look, if I hold it through my stop, basically like one dark print up there gets me out. It would have come back, and I could have maybe got break even or something like that. No, just take the hit because it is making the push. We did note when I talked about this that it stalled a lot of times at that 350 area. So now that you're here and trying to roll over, you wait for. I shouldn't say you. I mean, I will wait for it to actually make that top. I don't try it at 315. I don't try it at 325. I sort of wait for it to retest these highs. If it fails again at 350, it got to 47 the first time. That's when I look for that short, guys.
Okay, good. Yeah, good talk there. And look, we're going to make mistakes. I mean, we can't pick every price exactly to the penny every time, guys. So
J&J was a shitty.
Yeah, I mean, that is just going to be what it is right now. And including with me here, Neo, 3 average in. This is fine. Like we don't really even have a huge position yet on this name. I really want to see what it does right around here. I'm debating right now. This could be the spot right here for us to watch this name. So I am looking at this right here, Neo, looking to bounce upside. So we do have these positions on, and I do like this name right now to go high. So we'll wait to see here on Neo. It just broke through VWAP. It just resisted that move to the downside. I think like it should have gone if it wanted to there. So that's fine. We'll wait to see. I still like this name. We're in this. We're long at 38.01. It's out of the money, 20 pennies, but I'm giving this some room to the upside here. I really think that we can get back. More work going to be needed, but Neo to the upside looks good for me. Let's check it out on a 3-minute chart quickly, just so I can see the levels one more time and see where VWAP is on a 3-minute. So we broke that. Like I would have rather looked at that and seen that a little bit lower, but that's okay. So these are the levels we're talking about. It's right in here, and then you have this consolidation. So I'm trying to get another bid if I can downside on Neo, but right now I like the opportunity. I like the risk reward. I think this is well worth it. And then if it does dump below here, like 37.45, it'll be a hit. It'll be a small hit, but it'll be a hit, and there's no doubt about that. My next bid is here in the 70s, so we'll wait to see. Actually, it's 69. It just went down to 70 there. So we'll bid some 69s, and then we'll wait to see what it does here at 50, but looks like it wants to fail. So, okay, we'll take a bigger spot right now, and then we'll see what happens at this 37.40, guys.
And sometimes you just gotta strut. Look, again, talked about that in VTVT. Like, if you're gonna be counter trend ever, you have to have a very, very careful plan because realistically, the trend is your friend. A certain teacher told me that in my first week of training. And I've sort of stuck with that. Well, except when I go counter trend, I'm just careful when we do it. We got the rollover, got a couple of ads there at that 340 range off of the high of the day on VTVT. We don't mess around with the move to the top. We let it go to that. It was 3 and 350. That was it. That was the only two things we were looking at, guys. So it breaks down to 325. I'll get almost everything out if it gets to that VWAP, that 315 area. So I'll park a bit down there, just sort of get picked up with the momentum. At this point, once it's already given me a couple of legs to that downside, and if it holds this consolidation, that's brief consolidation it had around 320, then I don't want to give it to high of the day anymore. I'll let this one take me out of break even. I'll take the rest off at 340. I tighten my stop up once it's in the money. It's a strong show if it bounces here and runs to the high. Why even let it get there? So that's my thought process on VTVT. Patience is a virtue, and Brendan has the news.
Some Canadian content, in fact. Magna International was up huge this morning. Yeah, at Trader TV, Randy brought this to you first. Apparently, guys, are getting very, very close to announcing a deal with Apple for their iCar. 120 got tagged up there. This is in Toronto, MG in Toronto. Still up 2%, but it's come off a long way, guys.
Here we go.
Randy in the house.
Randy's in the building. Yes, good job there, Randy. Good call on that one. I mean, definitely, I'm going to stamp Randy on that one because he did call that, guys. So good little look there, Randy. Thank you for that one. You've brought Magna to our attention when we had Hot Wheels with Randy. The only guy, there he is. Yo, what's up, Randy? Yo, Randy. Stop working so hard, okay? Okay, so good call there. Show that again. Show that picture again. Yo, Randy, there he, oh, the Tim Hortons, the QSR is in the building. Yeah, so that's their stock, QSR. Restaurant Brands International. I made a hell of a lot of money on that stock. That was a fantastic one, so wow. Okay, good job on that one, Randy. Thank you for the Magna call. You guys can look that up. And look, Apple, I mean, I've already said it. I don't know another stock that has more catalysts than Apple, possibly anyways. So Apple continues to rock and roll here, taking out 133. Wouldn't surprise, well, it's right there now. This 133.50 I think is a good breakout as well. Apple rocking and rolling.
I'll tell you this much, Sean. You always say like invest in what you like and invest in what you know. For me, if you're a bit of an oddball and not usually with everyone else, invest in what you don't necessarily. Everyone else understands and everyone else loves, but you don't. I've never had an Apple phone. Every single member of my family does, and that's the only thing I'll buy from Apple is their stock. It is what it is, despite the fact I grew up on Macs. SOS, please someone sell me. And again, you guys can play the crypto names any which way you want. Whenever there's like a weekday, when there's a weekday in cannabis, I'll usually pick on Sundial. Oddly enough, I've done Afria and OGI today, which is weird because usually it would be Sundial. But when it comes to crypto, I'm going to short SOS, and that's been the case for a little bit here. It just shows all kinds of weakness. We're back down to 475. I just got some shares down out there. It's a couple of shorts. We can get a bad trigger, and we've seen this before. I got a bad trigger at a price I didn't want in NVIDIA. I got out. I got a bad trigger in a price I did want, but not the way that we want to get it off of the open. I don't average into it. Wait for it to test your pre-market high and then catch the rollover. It's a sunk cost at that point. If you start averaging into it, you get burned. I get out in front of the bad trigger and then get it in how I wanted to, which was on the actual sell-off. So then you get your cards in good at that point, that 98. Now it's down to that quarter. I like to play those quarters. The quarter was the stop to the upside. The quarter is us getting out. And speaking of OGI, doing a heck of a lot of nothing. Maybe I should have picked on Sundial because this rollover short is doing anything but rolling over. This is a heck of a lot of consolidation. This is one of those situations where if it wasn't as short sell restricted, the breakdown at 270 would make a ton of sense. Only you're likely to not be able to get shares if it's any good. So I have to watch out for this. I can't let it break through that high of the day. Oh, sorry, the high since the open. Pre-market high is 79, but this high here is 77. To me, that's the real high. That's no volume in the pre-market when it got to 79.
And a big shout out to my boy who's dominating everybody right now because he has Roblox. And Roblox today, 77. Good little buy, my man. Teaching these guys young, 9 years old. He told me to average into Roblox when it was down to 67. So there it is, man. A big move up today. Another 3%. So yeah. Feeling pretty happy with the offspring. When he misbehaves, I'm not too happy, but I'm pretty happy today. Up to 77 and change there for Roblox. So that's a good opportunity. Look for it to take out to 79 all-time highs. Again, we talked about Roblox getting there on the IPO. We went long, a decent amount of shares off that open. So we'll see about Coinbase tomorrow as well. But hey, what is happening right now? We're going to go bang with the big stick because Brendan Cardano right now, Rip City up to 140 right now again for Cardano. So I mean, to say that this stock, I mean, look, BNB, there's so many great coins right now, XRP ripping as well, but I'm just loaded up on ADA and Cardano is Ethereum 2.0. That's Ethereum, but this is going to be Ethereum like 20.0, guys. Cardano 148, just going to rip it up. You want to pay gas prices, then hold some Ethereum. But if you want to actually execute, wow, look at Neo as well, right back to the high side. Come on, Charles, give me some credit for this Neo. Look at this, bang, 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 bang. We're now in the money 5 cents. So thank God this one went back to the high side. Good trading here, guys, all around. But let's just get out. We have no losers on today. We're cooking like Russ Wilson right now. Big time movement here in the market.
Is he cooking?
And we're at 3 times daily goal right now, guys.
I might be bearish on Russell. We'll see what happens if they let him loose. So they're not always letting the guy loose. Let the man cook is all I got to say. But Spirit Airlines, it did break that 34.80. We waited for the push up. Didn't want to jump in front of it. I said break this consolidation so it goes a little further down. Finally breaks it, gets them out in front of VWAP at 35. Let's see if we can't get some out at that quarter and then the push to the upside. So it's short AAL, long Spirit. It's the second time we've gone long. You have a plan of action. You sort of stick to it. It's working pretty well here. I see no reason to deviate, at least for the time being here. It doesn't mean it can't turn around. That NVCR, NVCR, still trying to break that 200. If it takes it out, I'm going to try that little capitulation short. And look, it makes all the sense in the world to immediately be thinking about, and I look at this area here, like 195 down to like 190. Immediately think about scalping some out in front of that range or in that range, wherever it slows down first, for sure. This is a stock where if it does break and it's a fail break, it can be at 215 in an absolute hurry. So there is a bit of a scalp aspect to it, relatively speaking, that I will want to put on. Digital Ally, I don't know what to say, like barcoding much. The only good sign is it's barcoding at the low of the day. So I'm short at the top and it's barcoding at the bottom, which is good if you're holding the short, but I really needed to break down for me to get more shares out. Well, actually, it's not true. I should sit on the bid. I should get some on the bid here at 82s, because if it breaks 180, I can just try to get back into some more. Only you see it's down 10%, short sell restricted, so I have to get a little bit lucky to catch that on a 180 break.
Yeah, I mean, everything right now mooning, like crypto mooning, everything going nuts right now. So you could see ETH going up through 2,300 right now as well. So good movement happening in crypto universe right now. And good movement happening in Neo universe, where we were just 15 pennies in the money. But now we're going to wait to see how high this one wants to continue to go, man. We just tried to get some out here, 38.10. We missed it. So that would have been just a great trade. We really called this one. Really happy with the way this is moving. But look at NASDAQ now coming down. We may have to get out of some Neo, guys. Small cap recap, kill him, Brendo.
There we go. Yeah, our software was sleeping there a little bit. Let's talk about microcap first. LYL. We mentioned in the pre-market, I stood up here and said 192. So we're here. We still can't get locates on this, but if anyone has 192 above that, 220 is that kind of high from the pre-market. Above that, this thing could, go to the moon, as they say, but it needs to get back below 190 if it's going to continue to the downside. Looks like it's trying to hold 190 right now as support. So heads up on LYL. And the only other thing I really did was AMC was trying to go down, but it hasn't really done anything. But the only other thing I did, similar to Neil, VT, 320, 350, 360. So short initially, that worked kind of. Out the rest above 3. I actually went long here on 320 to 350. Turned short back down to 320. So bunch of in and outs on VT. Got to trade what is moving when the market overall is pretty slow, guys. Back over to you. I'm
going to give it a Brent, a good one there. Brent Hart, one of our members there, he called SOS the sundial of the crypto space. But yeah, I mean, it's about relative strength and weakness, and I think you want to express trades in a way that you're comfortable with. So you might say in a particular space, this is the stock. When I want to play weakness, this is what I'm going to do. And then when you want to play strength, that's what I'm going to do there. So airlines, that's one thing. And we talked about in crypto. SOS is actually making a bit of a bounce here. Like I said, I got some at 75. Since then, it's bounced off that, trying to consolidate. I won't let this get past $5 here, guys. So once it breaks 5, I'll be taking that trade off. It cannot, at this point, turn into a loser. But that doesn't mean you don't want to have a plan of action. Getting very close on NVCR to breaking that 200. I want to go back to Quantum because QuantumScape, that is. There was all kinds of like nothing and consolidation around this 42.20 range on QuantumScape. So, holding above it would be a great little bullish sign. Just remember what that daily chart looks like for Quantum, where it's been trying to hold this 40 with a couple of dips below it over and over and over again. So usually you'd like to see a couple of legs of consolidation for a couple of days in a row. So as much as I like the breakout, I wouldn't be too stubborn with it because you'd probably see a couple of days off of this level before you actually get that push back to 50. At least that's my initial thought there. So next trade, it's very, very possible that you could see NVCR pop in which case I'd have to go very quickly to it. I can tell you Spirit Airlines there, and you're going to want to see the 1 minute chart. There's that next level. We'll go with, I don't know, we'll go with the Wiz, and why not? Because I just talked about relative strength and relative weakness. The strength I liked was going to be in Spirit. You're going to see get that, not the actual bottom, because I wasn't just sitting in front of the bid and just sort of averaging into the long. I wanted to break that consolidation it had before. Previous low turned into a bit of resistance on a down move consolidation. You get the break at 34.80. Now we're headed back to the upside. Coincidentally, I just got some shares out there at 35.20. Whatever, it's exactly a 40-cent win. It wasn't necessarily intentional. It just sort of stalled out at that price. If it gets anywhere near this, and I'm going to show you this chop before it broke down, 35.65, 35.60 area, that's where I'll take the rest out. There's always a 36 break in the cards for us here. So that is working. I can tell you I just got that NVCR, so I want to see how far that one can initially go. The thing about this stock is, as I try to flip to it here, and I have it up on another level 2, which is now freezing. There we go, NVCR. So it just broke that 200, immediately snaps back to 199 on the bid. And of course that's not going to go. Yeah, I can't sit there fighting it. What I want to get into here is you can't really give it more than like a $4 or $5 range. If it's going to go wrong, it's definitely going to retest back to like 10s and 15s. So because I thought that chop zone was going to be down here to like 190 to 195, risk to reward, I can't be like $10 stubborn with this name. It's going to be a relatively tight stop at that sort of 205 range. And then remember, spreads $0.50 to a full dollar, so you got to cross up very, very aggressively to be able to get out of it. It is a dangerous stock to trade, but just take an amount of size that you're comfortable with and then understand what the slippage is going to be on those levels. And of course, VTVT just tried to break through the high, failed, came right back in. I don't wholesale breakout longs on stocks that I'm usually shorting, so I'm in and out very quickly of that one as I tried to take the top but couldn't do it. Maybe I should be hunting for a short again.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, right now, NEO, we just got out again up there at 94, 95s. I mean, we're long 85 off these average ins. Our average price roughly 38, so needs to get, 37.85. It needs to get going here if we're going to make any money on this upside move here on NEO. Will it hold this bottom of 37.50? We will wait to see. What's been holding up pretty good that I just haven't traded today because it hasn't gotten into the range, and I think you got to be very specific sometimes with the names that you're looking at and the opportunities. And for me, Palantir is just too jumpy right now. It's not really near anything. We did have an opportunity, that obviously that week just didn't happen, but we did have an opportunity early to tag this one at 23 even maybe, but it didn't really get there and we didn't really have that. So now we got to wait for Palantir. It just bounced off 24. I also don't want to go short this name, right? So, but that is an opportunity to go short through 24, especially if the NASDAQ does fail. But as it's been brought to my attention and I brought to yours, it's not following the NASDAQ exactly all the time anymore. What's up, Brendan?
Weemy Hologram, a name we've looked at many times, up 10% today. They're teaming up with Toyota's electric subsidiary, or one of Toyota's electric subsidiaries. So back above 10% here. It just popped up on volume again through that high there, guys.
Weemy. And just a word of a note here, Afria apparently still looking strong. Thank you guys for pointing that one out. I shouldn't have gotten too far away from it because now you're staring at 15 potentially for a bit of a level. And just going to go to the 15-minute chart there. But this is what I'm sort of talking about. You did have a bit of a capitulation yesterday. So I want to be very, very patient here. Very patient. Let's wait for it to come up. If I actually think about shorting this name, it's going to have to be off that 15 area. And it's not jumping way too far in front of it. Sundial, on the other hand, which is one that I thought would be making some pushes. Again, this is where I would have loved to have gone to, but I kind of thought we'd be already testing 95, 96. That's not happening. So I guess, yes, it's weaker than I expected, but not necessarily getting me that secondary, not necessarily parabolic, but you kind of know what I'm getting at here. Strong push that's easier to fade off. Break some people, shake out some shorts, and then maybe I can try to jump into it. That hasn't happened on Sundial, so I just really don't have much of a trade there just yet. And I just said VTVT tried to take out the high and then came back in. I should be trying to short it. I didn't get any in the 40s like last time. I'll try again and see if I can pick some up there.
Yeah, we're just catching out of some NEO right now as that's going to the high side. We wait on the offer to see if we can get out right now on NIO. A good trade now, man, 12 cents in the money. No losing trades today. There it is, out 99s. A good out, or was that O's? I don't know what it was. 99s, I think, as we continue to go to the upside. There's another out at 05. My orders are just layered in right now. So a couple good trades there on NIO as that just rips to the high side. Now 50 cents in the money, NIO, continuing to go here on this NASDAQ move. NASDAQ ripping faces off right now. Check back in on our NVIDIA, 621, okay. So I didn't feel like I didn't miss out on too much there. Obviously, we missed out on $5, but for NVIDIA, that was one of the big stocks for us today. We were loving that name. It made some move to the upside, but here we go. We'll take a little bit more. Actually, maybe not. I'm going to wait for a day high break here on NEO. Man, did we pick the right one again there. NEO mooning right now a little bit. So good trade here on NIO. We just averaged in. We waited for this 37.50. We took a decent spot there, our most shares, and now we go right back to the upside and just like ring the register, guys. This has been a great little run for me recently. Just continue with the profits, putting them on the board. We're over 3 times our day right now, and it's just been a big trade. Obviously, NEO here's a big one, and then NVIDIA just as big, guys.
And showing some roundabout strength here right off of that 350 again. So keep in mind, VTVT broke 350, came right back down. It was a failed breakout, so I get out of that almost immediately. First long we've had in the stock all day long. Then rounds out here. I try to get back into the short. If it takes out the fresh high, gonna get right out of it again. So this is one of those, I'll take the battle 1 or 2 times, and then from that point on, I'll just say, okay, let's make an actual move away, either bounce back down and short it on weakness, or it takes out like the 375 mark. So we're in VTVT one more time. If it doesn't work, I already said what's going to happen here. And Digital Ally, if I can come back to it for a quick second here, Digital Ally is starting to be one of those where, like, there's barcoding and then there's barcoding. At this point, I'm going to take half of this off if it breaks 83. So I'm going to sit here and just say we got 94 at the top. If it breaks to the top end of this range, there's zero reason to not get out of some shares when 83 starts to go. I mean, there's plenty. All I had to do is say it, and then I got filled in the bid, like right there. So I complain about it, and then it gives me the win. Let's go to Brendan.
B. Riley Financial Incorporated, little financial stock, up big time today. In fact, an 11-year high. On news, it's being added to the small cap 600 index. So Riley on the NASDAQ, yeah, testing 11-year highs over here, guys.
All right, congratulations to all Riley shareholders. Okay, here, crickets. Yeah, I mean, 6 years, 7 years, 11-year high, good number for Riley. I don't know much about it, but hey, you guys got to always look at the movers, right? That's how you make that money. You know, trade the stocks that are actively moving, and I think we got one here with NEO as it's looking to take that high out. I see someone there just say to me, "What about Palantir near 24?" Yeah, this again, I'm almost debating if this is a short, guys. Instead, rather than through 24. I need this thing. I don't want it to. I want it to. Actually, I don't need it to. I think if it's going to break out, it needs to happen right here. So we're going to watch to see what does happen through 29 on Palantir. But I actually don't mind a short here on PLTR holding up against this 24. But I don't know. Can I pull myself together to short Palantir? We will see. What is the size at 24? Decent, but not huge. I don't know, guys. Let's just keep watching it. Right now, though, we are celebrating NEO 45 cents in the money.
Yeah, I mean, for your NEO there, Tesla breaking to the top. I almost said AMC because I was just watching AMC. I saw you guys talk about it there. I'm going to get out of NVCR. Clearly should have taken the 215 instead of the 200, but it is what it is. You got to look for the play that's in front of you, and NVCR just came out. Can't give it, for me, I'm not giving it more than that $5 trade. I would have given the 215 a little bit more room because it was a better price. But AMC rounding towards the top here. Some of the recovery names got punked this morning, if you didn't notice. AMC kind of falls firmly into that group. And if I'm going to see it off the top, I'm going to take a shot at it here. Why not? SOS still in the money. I'll have Digital Ally probably for a while. Spirit holding up, but starting to make a bit of a turn here as the ES is teetering on flat on the session. Like, it gets to positive and they can't go any further, whereas the NASDAQ continues to lead the way up 1%. So if you see me, I'm not really shorting any of the tech names just yet, but every chance I get a rollover at one of the recovery or sort of like a high flyer type names, I'll take a shot at it here. AMC on this little rollover, failing at what was the opening range high here at 880. I know pre-market it got to 910, but 880 is the level I'm more concerned with.
Uh-oh, we're at NEO. Here we go. 70 cents. Let's see if we get this 24. I'm offering 24s. Do we get it? No, we do not. I'm offering 24s. Let's go 24, 24, 24. When we get back from Brendan, I will have this fill. I promise you. And there's the fill right there, Brendan. What's up, buddy?
A couple of these stay-at-home stocks worth looking at. This was probably an obvious trade coming off of that J&J news this morning. I just noticed this one. Zoom, yeah, 4.3% for Zoom. It has been asleep for months. Also saw DocuSign, big mover today to the upside as well. It's 10:30. Let's get a check on European markets. There's an hour left in the session over in Europe. Miss V is watching what's going on over there. What's up, V?
Hey, Brandon, European markets are mostly in a positive territory with the beginning of corporate earnings season in focus. JD Sports trading in Britain is up more than 3% as it forecasts sales growth for this year. Back to you.
Yes, we will get into the heart of earnings, as we've said, coming up tomorrow, guys.
Cardano still running. I see people tweeting at me. Yeah, guys. I mean, we're super excited. I mean, I'm super excited about this. You know how well things are going. And then look at NEO, man. This is a 3-minute chart. It looks even better, I think, on a 1 minute. Let's have a quick look here to see what. Not really. But here we go, breaking through the highs. We've averaged in beautifully here to NEO to the point where once again we're turning that profit here. So a good trade for us on NIO. It looks like it's just going to keep on continuing to the high side now as we defended that 37.50. We can't do it too much better than that today, guys. We talked about that 37.50, why we liked it, why I liked it, why I was averaging into it. We did have the help. I mean, sometimes you need the help from the market. We got that with NASDAQ as that just kept on going. But there it is, man. NEO up to 38.40, 38.50. As far as high side is now concerned, nothing really. I don't really see anything. We can look at a 20 period to see where we can get out of this last 20% or so. Okay, so that's the 200 period. We well crossed that. Some situation here at 38.50, but not much. And then, yeah, anywhere in here I think makes sense. 38.75 or so. Let's just put an offer there because when it rips, I'll forget to do that. So we'll put an offer now just above 38.50, like in the mid 38.60s. We'll see if we can't take a smooth dollar on this one.
And sort of speaking of longs, good one, NEO is you know, Tesla continues to push highs. I mean, it is what it is. It's been fantastic long. So hopefully you guys bought some on that dip. Well, I mean, sort of in the long term, on a little bit of a dip. Go to Plug Power because look, that's been a short. I mean, kind of recently we talked about it getting beaten up here, but finally looking at like can get to a level that if it holds, I'm gonna like it. Now I look back to this like 28.65. It's going to stick out like a little bit like a sore thumb in this pre-market area. You have a bit of a top, hold, flush. Now we're trying to break out that 28.65. We've shown you to look on the daily chart. Okay, yes, very, very weak, certainly. But if we get back above that like 65, you have yesterday's low just in front of it at that 28.75 mark as well. So that's a good price range for a bit of a break. You are seeing some of those beaten up names try to find bottoms, and I like Plug Power to try to do the same thing. I like that sort of 75 entry, and then use like this VWAP area as a bit of an out. I only gave you the daily chart look as to why I prefer 75 over what seems like an obvious level at 65. So I'm going to go with the 3/4 on Plug Power to the upside here, 28.75 for the long trade. Still got Spirit, still got SOS to that sell side trade. I mean, SOS, look, as strong as everything else in crypto has been. It's no coincidence which one is actually looking weak today. Brendan?
Datadog, guys, just noticed this one just took out 94. They picked up a little company called Screen. I want to say a little software as a service company. Screen today. That was the news in the pre-market here, but a nice positive day for Datadog as well.
Nice positive day for Datadog. Nice positive day for NEO as that just keeps on ripping as well. And then a nice positive day for our boy as well, Palantir. Nice move today. Like we don't have anything. It's crazy because this is my stock and I normally trade this thing too much, as you guys know. And then today I've just been too busy with things, but we haven't really talked about Palantir too much. I was debating shorting that 24. Couldn't put myself together to do that, so we didn't. So thank God, as now it just rips through 24. And then really, man, I mean, there's not too much more to talk about here with Palantir. It's making new highs. We have 24.20. We have this level right here, 24.35. We have the high about a week ago, 24.50 there. And then just yesterday, we were already up here. So no surprise that this move is happening again. Just really surprised at how fast it's happening today. With the NASDAQ, I guess that makes sense. I mean, NASDAQ up, Palantir up. We know, I mean, my last buy was 21 and change. We've talked about that, and now it just continues to go. Unfortunately, I've missed it today. I'm not going to get everything, and we missed Palantir today. Up through 24. I feel horrible about it. This would have been a great buy, man. We used to defend 23.75s. Should have done that, but instead I was too busy catching NEO for a 70-cent winner. So there it is, NEO to the upside. Now we have this position on. Like I said, the last 20% in. We didn't get our very last fill, but that's fine. We got good enough. Like each one of these is 20% in, and then a bunch of different outs. Now we hold this last piece. So really happy with the way this one's turning out. NIO to put that that on the board today, guys.
Yeah, and another retake of that 200 on NVCR. Now the question is, like, can I actually get back into the trade without taking the even 200 break and trying to catch it when it goes to like a 199? Remains to be seen. I just missed the fill because of the spread, but I want to go to DraftKings. Because there's a lot of stocks that are making moves to the upside. DraftKings, you can throw it into the list. Just showing it here, trying to get back towards this like 59 area. Now, this has always been one of the trickier names to day trade, but if the rebound is going to be on in some of these high valuation names or whatever you want to call them, some of those momentum plays, you look at this level at DraftKings where we're sitting at 58.50, and I do anticipate, okay, well, instead of looking for a rollover short, anticipate that it is about to flush off this level. Could it take out the high and you like the 59.20 break? Okay, fine, that's one way to do it. But if it capitulates, look for the buyback into 58, which is a level that we've liked before on this stock. I'm going to stick with that same thing. I just jumped back into that NVCR, so I was able to get it at 199 instead of taking the 200 break. We'll see if this is when it finally flushes. There's just so much room to the downside on NVCR. I knew this is one I wanted to try to have. So round 2 NVCR, round 1 if DraftKings rolls over here and tests 58 in any kind of a way.
Yes, yes. And then I just got notes from my wife here. We're registered up. So the Oculus is pretty cool. Apparently Sunday we're going to be able to sit courtside here watching the game on the Oculus. So Hornets, Lakers. I don't think it's going to be any LeBron or any AD or no LaMelo, but I guess they picked this game a while ago. So it's called Venues, and it's from Oculus. How sick is that? We're going to be watching some Jays games and things like that. You can literally sit like right on the dugout with Oculus. So that's pretty sick. I love you, my wife, like sending me these. She's doing it all. It's unbelievable. So thank you so much for that, and I hope that that's fun. I would love to see it if they could do that for golf, where they like follow around the leading group or something like that. The Oculus is absolutely amazing. If anybody has that, my kids are loving that thing. And concerts as well, Valeria. You can go right to a Justin Bieber concert and sit right there, front row. There, Valeria.
Sure.
Sure, yeah, she's down for that. Okay, that's that talk, but Macy's right now is brought to my attention here on the board by, I forget who it was, it was called Really Something? Real, something like that. Brought that to my attention. Macy's a big dump right here, all the way down to 15.90, holding that 16, now breaking above view up. A great look there. You may want to take the long through 16.25. Looks fine to me, but again, remember, retail going to be in trouble a little bit here as the reopen. Coming back in a little bit. You see CCL, some negative news with J&J. Obviously, that's what started this. But there it goes right back up. Thanks for the heads up on that one. Brendan at the big screen.
Hey guys, time for Sector Watch. Let's have a look at what is leading the market so far. We are positive, but only just 0.09% thanks to these two groups and the banks mostly. Banks are definitely weak. The individual banks all in negative territory. Diversified financials, there are a few here that are in positive territory, but as a group, this one definitely providing some pressure. Consumer discretionary stocks, you're going to find all the retailers, the cruise lines are in here. Domino's standing out there. People still need pizza, 1.4% to the upside. CCL, RCL, MGM, all the hotels, the cruise lines, all in this group, as well as the retailers. So we got that J&J news this morning. Not going to be good for the reopening stocks. Here are the airlines. Love, UAL, AAL, all to the downside, 4% there for AAL. Delta's here, Alaskan as well. So industrials under pressure. Fast over here, 3% to the downside. URI, TXT. This group really leading as far as weakness is concerned. There is some strength in healthcare stocks today. DHR, HOLX, and WST, to mention a few, 2.8 to 4.8%. J&J right here, only 2.6% on that news today to the downside. Bio underneath it, 2.5% higher. Viacom trying to bounce back, 3% higher today. Twitter right beside it as well, 1.6%. So communication stocks among the leaders, holding on to a 0.09% gain. Back over to you guys.
And will come from Brendan, and will not look a gift horse in the mouth because it's not a very good thing to do. You can look up why. It's actually a really, really weird story about horses and whether or not they're sick and all that nonsense. So I don't love it too much, but I love Spirit Airlines. I love what it's done for us today. It just got to the high again, and look, I'm not gonna be afraid from like taking profit, and maybe it breaks out through 36, and maybe it's like $1 higher after that. But it was short American Airlines. It was long initially on Spirit Airlines. Get out at the top, short American Airlines at that particular point because I thought it was relatively a weaker name. And then once I got out of that one, got back into the long on the breakout in Spirit, and then that's gonna give you like $1 move. It's essentially playing the same range for the out. Is it a coincidence that it slowed in the same spot that it was selling off at the open? I tend not to think so. So that's the way we try to play it here. I can tell you for the first time all day, well, not the first time all day. Finally, SOS, for those of you guys that are bullish on it, maybe it breaks $5. I don't know. I still got that 98 change short. It's going to round up to 99, but it's like 98 and change because I had multiple entry points here. And also we can get dark pools. So we get some midpoints as well. So if it breaks 5, I'm out of it. It's been a great trade. It's been fantastic. What the first time through was not, and we're going to see what happens here on NVCR. I'm going to take that breakout. When it breaks 200, it gets me stopped at 205. I said I wanted a tight stop because if it tests 215, that's the area I wanted to play into again. This time it goes, I'm like, okay, let's actually take some off the first iceberg I see. Saw one at 196, took some off there. So got a quick little scalp. Now I'm literally bidding down in front of 180. If this rolls over and actually breaks 190, I think it's gonna be a bit of a flush zone for this name. I go back to what happened at 7 o'clock, and there was all kinds of chop in and around 175 to like that 190 range. So if 190 goes, I'll get out in the middle of that range. I said I would take multiple shots at NVCR. There's no question the first one should have been at 250, but you know, at 8:30 in the day, we were just about to go on air here, and I was already in 2 shorts, and I was like, I'll be patient with this one. It might make another test higher. It clearly did not. Now I'm getting the rollover short. Let's see if it's a big win. Already scalped a little bit out. I'll still be negative on the stock unless it does break that 190.
Yep, we're still, you know what am I doing with Palantir here? I still have, so Macy's, good call there again for somebody on the chat. We just continue to go high here on NEO. I mean, look at this, guys. Now we're back to the day's high on NIO. I mean, we already crushed it through here, 38.20, but we're just making new highs right now, 80 cents now in the money, and we're still waiting for higher, man. My target, I told you, I randomly put it out, 38.63. So we'll wait to see if we can't smooth the dollar off this one. And again, just more and more love from you guys today. Thank you so much for everything that you guys are doing for us, with the show. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Apparently we're pretty close to that 200K, although something's funny's been happening with it. So we'll wait to see if that does come through. NVIDIA, looks like, again, we didn't have to worry about all this because we got out, but that was a $13 win there, long at 07, out right here at 19s, call that $12, not 13. And we're looking right now at this level, 618 right here, has held a couple times. It held here, that's where we had some of these issues on the low side, but we've held, so we can watch out for 618 here on that move. NEO, I don't know if I should be too stubborn here. It's at 38.50 and looking like it wants to bounce around a bit more. This could be a good spot to get out. Like, I don't want to be too, like I just said, too greedy here with NEO, but let's go, man. We're in the money now, 90 cents as NEO, man, plugging in our net today into NEO has been a good idea because here we go again for us, just another win. Multiple dollars on NVIDIA, which is a $600 stock, and then $1 win on a $38 stock, similar to NEO's AAL. I mean, when these stocks move like this, you got to take some profits. So we'll wait to see now as it's coming back to the downside.
Sean, I crap you not.
Yep.
You guys can, this is YouTube, so you can literally like play this back after. You said the word plug when talking about NEO. I forget where it was in the sentence. Plug just broke 28.75. I just got that long. I'm sitting there like, what? Plug? How do you know? So anyways, got the break on plug. It's an entirely a coincidence. Oops. I just find stuff like that really, really weird. That word came out of Sean's mouth, and then I got the break and trigger into plug power. So participating in the run, although it's down 3%, still, plug, I'm long for the first time in, I don't know, forever as a day trade. Brendo?
I just read a note, guys, that suggested NFT sales topped $2 billion in Q1. And there were twice as many buyers as there were sellers. PLBY, all-time highs today, $36. Huge volume came in as it took it up through 36 on that headline, guys.
Yeah, what's up, Playboy? Someone brought that to our attention a while ago as well about NFTs and saying that this was the next thing, and I agreed, man. I even talked to the wife about that. I was like, yeah, what are they going to do when they finally release some of those like infamous pictures that they have there? And she said something about Brian Austin Green or something. I don't know. I don't even know who that is. I think 90210. All of you females will know all about that one. Apparently, that was a good center.
I can't pretend not to know who he is, but how is he involved with that? I mean, I should.
He was in Playgirl or something. So she was
okay.
like, that was really super exciting. But anyways, Playboy continues to go to the high side. PLBY, like, oh, come on. PLBY. Is it a NASDAQ name? It must be. NQ there it is. Yes, $36 and change and still going. So Playboy, wow. This was not even that long ago. Like March was just like, I mean, we were just here on these lows. Bang, bang, bang. Wow, what a move up there. Playboy for the win. If you guys are in this name, like I'd get out. Like I've talked about Dolphin. That was the only name that I ever traded on this show. And remember when it was $28 and I said the next stop is 7? Okay, we're getting pretty close, man. I was short right here, 28, and down to 10, 11, 7, maybe coming next. That's where the 50 period is. So just a little bit of a guess there on Dolphin. But yeah, congratulations, anybody long these NFT names. It's been huge.
Yeah, definitely congratulations. I mean, like the NYSE is going to be putting out like NFTs for the first trade on a few names. I think what was the DoorDash? I mean, I don't remember exactly all the names they're going to put out there. So people are interested in it. It is what it is. I talked about Digital Ally. It finally broke that 180. It barcoded for a while, as we like to say on the show. I'm actually going to add to the position below 180 if I can. I've only had it in the pre-market and then got top 194s. But if it can go any further than this, look, it's down 10% from yesterday's close. There is some chop down around like the 165 to 170 range. So I still think there's at least 10, 15 pennies that the stock can give me. Plug, I guess it just needed a plug from Sean to go up. That sucks. Anyway, so we just got like the first 10-cent scalp. There was a bit of chop at like 29 even. I'll take some out in front of 29 even again. And the rest, I'd like to see if I can't get the quarters and then the 29.50. So I'm not going to dig in too deep because overall, I feel like it's going to take a little bit more than just this little subtle rally to get a push. A lot of times you'll see moves like this. It'll consolidate a little bit before it like snaps upside or hold a higher low, something along those range. But able to catch a little bit of a bid here for now. So we've got a long. It's in the money. We've taken some profit. I'll be happy to day trade plug to the long side, although I'm not necessarily there for the real hold. I feel like if it ever broke, if it breaks down off this move, there's a good chance you're looking at like 22s to 25. So I wouldn't dig in just yet, but I like the day trade.
Yeah, okay, just looking here, NEO still that 82 cents now in the money and still going upside. It's starting to come back in. I did put an out here, guys, 38, 36 or so is going to be my out there if it does get to that level. I mean, I think we can go a hell of a lot higher than that, but that's going to be the out if it does retrace back. I want to make sure to put that 70 cents in our pocket. We can get greedy. I think we have gotten greedy with it right now. So I was really only expecting right here for the high, but we bounced around and then went up from there. So right now, NEO, wow, just taking these out. I'm actually going to cancel my high side bid there, or offer, sorry. Hopefully we get out even higher than this, maybe 39 or so on this name. So we definitely like that one. That's moving around. Boeing just cracked lower. Again, some of these names, I want to check back on CCL as well, but Boeing cracked that 251. And then since then, it's been kind of downside here. Cracked 251 yesterday. We got up there to 250. It resisted that break real easily. Like didn't even think about breaking it. It just wicked up there and then just hammered itself down to this 246 level. So right now, Boeing looks like it's trying to retrace back to 247.50 here. Not great action for BA to the downside. And I'm guessing similar action in CCL. Well, no, actually, CCL now up that 1%. This may be a good short up here, guys.
Yeah, and I want to quickly show you guys. We show the winners, we show the losers. It's all about the approach. Now, did I have AMC? You see me sitting shorts almost all day long for those of you out there. Did I have AMC of that rollover? Sure, we got that at average price of like that 72. It breaks the top, we get out. And again, you can't be stubborn about it. You can, look, I mean, I know it's the thing to just be like, oh, average in, average in, average in. On a long that you believe in, that's probably a heck of a lot easier to do than it is to just dig into a short. So AMC looking very, very strong. It did get to this level and then another potential rollover. So if I was really, really stubborn, I probably would have jumped in on that 9 even. But the one I wanted to go to was, again, just play something which is already capitulating a little bit, take a second crack at that NVCR. It's starting to grind downside again. So I know it's sitting like $6 or $7 in the money, but it's 190 I want to break, right? So 190 breaks, then I'm going to be able to get out of this one, hopefully in front of that 180 range and take like 10, 15 bucks on the rest of this trade and make back what we lost the first time we shorted it. Brendan is at the big screen. It is time for Money Talks.
Hey guys, yeah, currency time and cryptocurrency time. That's Ripple again today. What a move. 172.5 right now for Ripple, 25% on the day for XRP. Pretty impressive. Bitcoin 5%. Ethereum right there as well, 5%. That was moments ago, new all-time highs as well, coming off a little bit. But overall, a pretty positive session right across the board as far as other currencies are concerned. Multi-month low for the dollar index today, so a lot of these are higher. The euro, you can see 0.18. Canadian dollar just break even at the moment. It is trying to go positive though. British pound slightly lower, not much. These two, Japanese yen, Swiss franc, coming off with volatility decreasing again today. Australia, New Zealand, both higher. Same story for the Turkish lira, guys. But XRP, 2 days in a row with the chart of the day, guys.
Hell yeah. I mean, XRP has been fantastic. I mean, we know my buy. We talked about that on the show, long 30 cents XRP. So, okay, and long sub 20 cents on ADA as this just keeps on moving. Monero, I own Monero as well, Stellar Lumens. I mean, I own a lot of coins, but really put some money into this one as, you know, we're getting near all-time highs on ADA. So when this thing breaks 150, don't be surprised when it goes to 250, and then you're wondering what ADA is at that point. So we'll wait to see on that one. But yeah, crypto's very, very fun. What's up, V?
Hey Sean, AMC is up around 5%. Traders on the chat really want you guys to talk a little bit more about AMC.
Do they? Okay, well then we can do that. AMC, oops, not MC, AMC, there it is. AMC today, 890 and change. So a good one today, a nice run. I mean, I can't believe this. We did, again, like, looking at this, like, you know, 850, you got to sort of defend some of these levels there, and 850 was there. It broke it, then it held at 8.25 to the downside. I've been saying for a while that this is why I'm a little bit upset that I don't have this one, because I've been saying for a while that AMC's true value is around here, like 8, 9, 10, something like that. Now we fall back down. I mean, if we get to this level, 5, 7, maybe, but I mean, people apparently are returning to theaters and stuff like that. So AMC could be a good buy down here for a longer term position. As far as a day trade, you've just ripped up to 9. We haven't done that in a while. We'll take a look at a 20 period though quickly for that. And here it is right here, a 20 period on AMC. Yeah, I mean, you know, back to 940 would be pretty sweet. That was a big move. And then taking that 890 out was also good. So watch out for a fail back. We did touch down here, 9. I think if you stay above 9, it's a buy and hold in it tomorrow and then see if we get 1050. So I think you could buy it as long as it stays above $9 today, guys.
So I saw a couple of questions from, I believe it was, I gotta get the name right here, Lady of Elvina's Live Gigs. So there you go. You're asking, I'm in a lot of shorts. Is it over trading? So I'm going to give you a bit of a rundown of some of these. 2 of those, buyouts that literally don't move. Waste of time to even look at them. NVCR is the one that, you know, I think if it hadn't run in the money, you'd have to have a little more concern with. Like I was talking about earlier with Afri in that short position when it looked like it was going to be a bit of a strong one. So this one I am monitoring. I do also have a couple of other shorts. This is one I can have on my level 2. I'm locked and loaded, ready to go. Once it goes in the money, I'm now sitting there a little bit more comfortably, and that's why. The other ones you'll see on SOS, short off the open. This was the one I was shorting into the open. My focus was on SOS at that open and on the airlines. Once it goes in the money, and then I get that retake of that 5 even area to the short side, I've been sitting here with a 5 even stop, and then I didn't even average into it. I'm like, if it breaks 5, I'm out. So it sits in the money. I have my bids to the downside. I have my targets. Not much to do in the way of managing that position once it's in the money for you. Allows you to get into some more things. And it's the same thing with Digital Ally. I got into this one in the pre-market, and then it tested off that little high at the open, and once it works in the money, I don't have to be too concerned with it. Now, I've just re-entered when it finally broke that barcode at the bottom, so it's a new position that we just put on for half the shares at 180. So again, like most of these at this particular time of day that I've been hanging on to, I'm sitting in the money in them. It's a lot easier to manage them. I'm not getting into simultaneously VTVT at the very top when it's looking ridiculously strong, and then also into, let's say, like Afria when it's breaking through the highs. I'll do one of those at a time. But the rest of it are just sort of sitting there in the money as NVCR finally testing 190, guys. That's $8 in the money. Remember, I took a hit on it before. Now we're trying to get that back. If 190 breaks, this could get real ugly for that stock.
Yeah, great job there at Daryl reviewing your Afria trade as well there. Good job, Daryl, talking about that. So good one there for sure. Congratulations, Mr. Daryl. We'll look at Afria APHA. I haven't been in it today. I haven't been in anything weed-based, but can wait to see what it's doing, though. I mean, obviously, we like these names. And wowzers, yes, sir. Today, wow. I wasn't even paying attention to, I know Neil's been trading it, but yeah, this one has been a rip city today, which is fine. I mean, it's just making back. Like, this is the thing. I said that I would sell some cannabis names on any strength, and I think it's about time that we maybe make that decision soon to get out of Afria, because right now it's making that move. You do have that merger with Tilray, so there's lots of action there. We can look at more high side for Afria. Actually, let's just check out CGC quickly. Is that one moving? Probably. I don't think it's moving the same percentages, but we'll wait. Yeah, no, only 1.52. I'd much rather get the cash into CGC, but again, this needs to break above 30. I'm too invested in these marijuana names, and they're not doing anything right now. So these have to get excited. We did sell some in this bump, obviously. My first position on this is $6, so it's fine, but we do need to wait on it. It's weed.to in Toronto, guys. Looks like the NASDAQ wants to go, and we're 80 cents still. We're still unplugged on NEO. It hasn't taken us out yet. We're waiting for that. I mean, almost did. 38.40 there. We'll look for a high, 38.60, guys, NIO.
Yeah, and I always say, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Maybe this is going to flush that NBCR. I mean, it is what it is, but I can tell you, right when I was just looking at that one at that 190 mark, it started to creep down into that price. I basically saw what was the momentum dying on me. And if it goes to 185, I might have thrown away like $5 worth of extra profit, but the volume just absolutely started to die down. It was like twiddling, barely printing anything but a few small like dark prints, and the spread basically was opening up, meaning the bid got all the way down to like 190 and then like 13. And then the offer was like hanging out right at like 191, kind of like this right here. Like no one was offering below that price. So I said, oh, that's ridiculous. If I can catch a bid in front of that 190, I should just take it off here. Clearly, it's a psychological level. And this is really starting to slow down here. Maybe it rolls over again, and then you can catch like a 189 type short like I did. The second break of 200 was better than the first. Might be the same thing with 190. So I'd take a profit and run. Brendan?
All right, we are cautiously optimistic here, guys. It's been a long time coming. There's been some strange auditing or something weird going on with YouTube, but here we go. There it is, 200,001. So thank you so much to all of you, every single one of you 200,001 subscribers. If you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. It's very easy to do. Join us every single day. The market is open. We appreciate every single one of you. We love doing the show. It's absolutely free every single day. Guys, thank you so much for getting us to 200,000, guys.
Congratulations. I don't know if anybody heard Neil there, but it's been a good one, 200,000. We'd like to thank everybody. I mean, we wouldn't be able to do this without our lovely production team there. And thank you for the super chats, guys. I mean, I know it's not big, but it all matters to us. William, thank you so much for the $5, and thank you for the €5 as well. I've already looked at ADA. You're invested at 1.1. Congratulations, anybody that's watched Cardano with me. It's been an exciting run for your boy, and I hope it's been an exciting run for you guys as well on Cardano, as that one just keeps on making money. Like, join us for crypto plays. Join me for stock plays as well as 200,000. Look, I'm excited, but realistically, like, I know the show can get to $500,000, so we'll just wait to celebrate that when that does come through. But I'm going to, meanwhile, just start to celebrate and floss off NIO, because here we go. Bang! We're there for a $1 win right now on NIO. We've already taken $13 on blah, 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 blah. NVIDIA today. And here goes NEO up $1. Like, celebrating this day is huge, but celebrating wins in the market even huger. Thank you so much for everybody. It's been a fantastic run, and we're not stopping. So we actually added an afternoon show. Join us at 3:15.
Yeah, hopefully the mic issues have been corrected. My mic's on, guys. It's just, it is what it is. Sometimes we have those issues. All I was trying to get at was how humbling it was, honestly. So all credit to you guys. That's what it's all about. It's the greatest community, and it's a lot of fun to be involved in it. So I'm throwing it all at you. Thank you so much in the chat. The market's still going. We do have like 30 minutes to go for this show, because as Sean mentioned, we are back for Power Hour 3:15 to 4 o'clock every single day for you guys. Plug Power, I still have some, but like I said, if it got into this range here at the top, look at this at the open, 29.10 into that 29.35, takes them out on the way upside. We got that break finally, so bit of a nice scalp trade forming in plug. Usually have stayed away from going long in this name as it's been beaten up recently, but look, you get the break up. You had a lot of stocks that are recovering today, so also joining the party's plug. Didn't get it at the bottom, but got the breakout at 75 here that we waited for. If it gets to 50, I'm going to be out in front of the high of the day. And I might be looking for a bit of a fade at lunchtime here on this particular name. I mean, I don't want to fight too hard against the grain on some of these stocks, but if there are some setups, we're definitely going to not shy away from taking them. You guys mentioned Riley. Yeah, that thing on low volume is still going. What I would love to see here is like one last ditch effort for this to like try to make a parabolic move through an even dollar, like that 70 area, and then maybe you could take a look at it. But I mean, I just pulled it up, and in like the 10 seconds I've looked at it, there's been one single print. So I almost want to scratch this one off my list.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. I mean, where are we going to go here with NIO? I'm just going to keep watching this and take this to the high side today. NIO and NVIDIA, the two stocks for me today, and that have just both been absolutely monstrous here. 622 now. NVIDIA looking to take out that high. We talked about getting Apple through 133. Where's that at now? Okay, so 133.50. It's kind of surprising that this name's not really, to be honest with you, taking off as much as I thought. I thought Apple had a much bigger runway than this, considering that, shoot, you don't get a good look on this one. It still hasn't really broken out, but we did give you that call back down there at 126, sort of thinking that might have been a good little breakout level for Apple, and that has happened as well. So that's been a good move. We've talked about Microsoft. We looked at, here's Apple here. Here's the breakout right here, 126, like we talked about, straight to the upside. Still has more to go, but you know, I think Apple, just keep on buying it every day if you can. And I know, Neil, I have a Pixel. I did buy the original iPhone, and both my kids have iPads, and the wife lives on Apple product. Look, I mean, if you have a MacBook, you probably don't switch back. I mean, I think Brendan can probably attest to that. That's why I'm not getting involved in the
Don't you though?
because I'm too cheap. Like, I'd rather just buy something a little less because I don't have those needs for it. But I mean, the best watch, you know, the best phone, the best tablet. They'll probably come out with the best car. It's just Apple, guys.
I wouldn't go that far.
You don't have to, but I will. So that's Apple. A lot of headwinds, guys. Let's just wait to see. I mean, Tesla is maybe the best.
Well, that's what I'm going to say.
But I think Apple can test them, man.
If they make a better car than Tesla, I'll be like the most impressed person on the planet. And maybe, well, it's too subjective to say like what you'll do. So I can't really make any kind of a bet on it because, like, who's to judge, right?
I mean, I don't even know if Tesla's the best car, but we'll wait to see here. I'm excited for Tesla apparently coming out with like a little small car, like a Golf. I'll be grabbing that one. I want to get into the Golf R. The R is sick. So we get into that one at some point as well. Shout out to Randy as well, a lover of Volkswagen. What's up, Brendan?
Hasbro is very much up. Just broke 100, in fact. Hasbro 2.3%. Huge volume spike just came in on... where'd it go? Here we go. This headline here with, your friend Roblox, Sean. If this will load, let's wait for it. There we go. Official partnership with Roblox to introduce a range of Roblox-inspired Nerf blasters for Hasbro. Guys.
Oh, that's a good look for them.
Yeah, Roblox. I mean, Roblox has been popping. We love Roblox. I'm still watching this, Neo. Probably should have got some off at the top there, but we didn't. So now we're just going to wait for this pull back in. Look at the NASDAQ, man. We are cracking back down. We can go over to some weak names from yesterday, including AMD. Obviously, it's up today. It's a nice one. I mean, I'm long here. My last purchase, 77. But again, on some of this negative news, it's not negative for them. It's just more like NVIDIA just comes out and blows everybody out of the water with new chips and new talk and just like regenerizing? I don't know. Just giving some more love to the semi names. My pick of the year was SMH. We could check back on SMH. Well, I guess that's not NASDAQ. I think it used to be NYSE American, maybe not. SMH 252 and change. We talked about this earlier. Oh no, don't tell me it's not going to load. You can go all the way back to January. It's not like it's not super on fire, but this is where we picked this thing up. 210, 212, or right around here, 215, 216, whatever. A nice little move. SMH right now near the all-time highs for this name. So again, this is just a holder of the semiconductors. I like this. If you don't want to pick one, then fine. I'm in NVIDIA, but I'm more invested in AMD. So I would like to see AMD catch up with this play that is NVIDIA, but I like SMH.
Yeah, I mean, that's a smart thing to think about if you don't want to pick a particular name. And also if you just want to like them all. I mean, Intel is the other end of that coin because NVIDIA announcing some direct competition to Intel and going right at their bread and butter. So if you look for that, and again, just sort of playing the potential weaknesses, as Sean mentioned, the market's rolling off the top there. I just tried to see if I couldn't get that 190 a second time through that NVCR. It does look like it's stalling. I'm not going to chase it. It's lunchtime. Breakdowns at 11 o'clock. Maybe not the best idea in the world. But Intel, I'm going to like this one if it comes back down, 64.85. I mean, again, you're just looking for potential things that can go the other direction here. It's been a nice move up in the market. I do look over to, and I'm only going to American Airlines and Spirit Airlines because I was looking at those. I mean, you could talk about a CCL, which I've oddly enough, weirdly enough, ignored today in favor of the airlines, but that was what set up, and that's what I liked on the short side. And we're not back at the top that we're looking at and shorting off the open in American Airlines, but that was sort of off this 250 level. There was consolidation right before we opened at 9:30 that was off of this 2230. So the fact that we're here now is not a bad place to look for. If we're going to come back in, I want to jump into some shorts in American Airlines if we break that like 2220-ish area, 2215 if you want to be very, very patient with it. But I've only shorted American Airlines. I've only gone long Spirit. That's the way I decided to play them today, and it's worked out for me. I see no reason to really deviate from that particular plan. So I'm going to get back into a short if we crack down below that 2220 area, and I won't chase it further than 2215.
I did want to give a big shout out to John. Exactly. Thank you so much, John. Walkowiak. Thank you so much for the $50. I mean, a great super chat there. And thank you. Like I said, we'll be here forever. So we definitely appreciate that. Thank you so much. Well, at least until they drag me out of here, which might not be too far, Randy, from here. So we will wait to see on that one. PLTR right now. Stay away from Valeria, Randy. Let's go. Up to the upside, $24. Waiting to hold on that one. We will wait to see if it can hold 24. I'd rather get this thing back down here where we are. So there goes NEO. We held that a little too long. We didn't take out the top, but there it is right there. 80-cent win for that. So we'll just, the pins lined up for this one. We got long here, took it out, our largest position, downside on NEO. Good trade today as we wait for our celebration. We'll be celebrating at the end, guys. Stick with us until the end of the show, and we will start popping some bottles for you guys at the end of the show. So stay tuned for that. We do have our 3:15 show coming up. You know what? I'll hit that. We haven't done that yet today. Coming up right after the show. Like yesterday, it's number 3, and now what is it today? Number 2? 1. Okay, we'll go back to number 1 then. There we go. Get our watch list, by the way. And here comes number 1 after the show. 3:15, guys. Just always keep it on 1. Maybe it's my mistake. After this show, we come back at 3:15 is what I'm trying to say. So join us for the Power Hour, the fastest 45 minutes in YouTube history, every single day at 3:15. Neil, Brennan, and myself will review not only the day, but try to make a little bit of money. Shout out to Jillian, who messaged me yesterday and apparently killed the closing show. So good job, Jillian.
Yeah, look, it's a fun show, and it's definitely really fast. But NVCR, you got to be kidding me. There's the roll. It does break a second time. I don't have it on. I was looking for a bit of a pop back up. When it broke 200, it gave you it broke 200, gave a bit of a pop, and then there was that range here on the way down. I was actually thinking I could get like a consolidation and get a better price in 190, something in like that 92, 93. It doesn't happen. It is what it is. We'll miss out on that one. But wow, you guys know what's up. I saw a few people mentioning a sundial getting close to $1. Not quite there. Double top, 98.5. Oddly enough, that's the price I should have had a few sessions ago when I was short 97.5 and it broke $1. But this is going to be like almost. I can't get away from it. I always have to take this trade when I'm going to see it. I don't see a monster level at $1. There's really nothing to be seen on level 2, but if I do, I always have to use that dollar as an out. And here you can even think about just using that top at 98.5 and make it 2 trades in one, which isn't too unreasonable. If I saw a big seller at 98.5, I'd probably like that a little better, but I'm going to take this short in front of $1 on sundial. It's not what it was on the breakdown because it's now gone back and forth a few times. Just look at the 15-minute here, guys. It's been a few times that it's done this whole song and dance of the dollar. Broke down once, broke up, broke down. This retest, I like it, but the big move was certainly the last couple of times where you got that an instant 10%.
Guys, everyone talking about Boeing right now. Boeing up to 254 and ripping. I just tweeted it out. 40 net orders in March. What's up, Ren?
Yeah, I was just going to say that, but we'll talk about this as well. Where to go? Here we go. Roblox. Roblox just tagging 80 there on that headline as well. So Hasbro teaming up with Roblox to make some Nerf blasters for Roblox. So recent highs, $80, guys.
Yeah, they are, man. Wow, what a move for Roblox today. Up that 6% and just ripping off, man. Like, what a great buy down here, 60, 67. I can't take credit. My 9-year-old can, and he didn't even know what averaging in was. So more of a fluke than anything else. But Roblox right now up to $80. I think you take that out, and we just continue to go long. I don't know what this deal means exactly for Roblox, as I know that they're just super popular. And if they can start firing Nerf guns and stuff off during Roblox, I think that's actually better for Lego or whoever. Oh, it's Hasbro you mentioned. That's going to be great news for them, I feel, instead of, it's obviously great news for Roblox, but I guess it's, what is it, HAS, I guess? Yeah. That's probably on the NASDAQ. Yeah, Hasbro, wow, back to $99 as well. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that's a big move for Hasbro, big announcement there. Basically left for dead. I mean, this thing doesn't trade very much, and then bang it to the upside. I mean, let's go. Let's get the daily chart on Hasbro. We've been talking about this. The toy business has been pretty dead, but it's a good move for them. Yeah, see, good move for them to get back into the action now with Roblox. So Hasbro, I actually like this for a buy. I think I can stamp it, man. You get above 100 and Hasbro flies.
Yeah, my brother's gonna like that call a little bit, of course, because he's in the animation game. That's why he does like kids shows and cartoons. But either way, a couple of names that I don't know. We only have like 15 minutes to go, and we were talking earlier about J&J was sort of the lead story this morning. Obviously with the U.S. sort of stalling out on the rollout there, and then some trepidation with blood clots and whatnot. I actually still, I'm just going to cancel this bid because I had a dip buy off the open that I really liked, and I thought maybe it was going to give me the chance. At this particular point in day, this is not one I want to go ahead and make that defense, unfortunately. So I just canceled that order. And if we do get an eventual break of 155 or a test of 155.50, I'll probably look at that hopefully in the afternoon or a consolidation lower. I just don't like these at lunchtime unless I already have a pretty good read on the stock. So I think there's a chance. The J&J, it looks like it's trying to roll back to the downside here. Maybe it gives you a look off that low. We looked at it in the daily chart. I think it might get oversold off this news. If it does, I'll look for that 155 first. And if it gets any crazier than that, I mean, come on, give me a break. If it gets to 150, we'll probably be all over that. I just got into Sundial for the first time today. I got 97s. I don't want to chase it too far to 98 half top. So, like you start thinking about like 1-2% mattering, and it's only a half a penny, but on Sundial, it really makes a difference. So it's going to have to come up a little bit for me to get more shares short side. But J&J is going to be all over my watch throughout lunchtime and in the afternoon to see if we can't get that 155.50 area for any kind of a defense. But I don't want to snap into it at 11.15.
Yeah, that was the one J&J level that we wrote down today at the very, very top of our list, 155. Will it hold? I guess eventually we'll see. We'll take Roblox through 80 small if we do get it, and just to see if we can get a couple dollars out of Roblox. It looks like it's holding the 79 a little bit. So again, I don't want to average in here because we could fall to this level, and if we do, that's fine. That's great. It's a big day for them. But if it does take out 80, I want to be part of that. So watch out for Roblox taking out 80, and then honestly, if it dips back down to this area like 78.50, we could take that $1.50 hit. We are looking for it to break above. So if that happens, that happens on RBLX. To the moon, hopefully, for that one, if not already. Rocket, so from Roblox to Rocket, RKT now, that's made a nice move up today as well. Basing out here, a good little base. We're trying to break that 50 period of 23.25. If that happens, then Rocket also can go, man, through $23. Why not? Market is coming back in. I like Rocket here, breaking back above. We hovered around view up the whole time, and now you're going to be able to cash that in a little bit here on Rocket above this 23. So get ready to bounce off that. And then Boeing, we brought you that news, and it's not I mean, that's a big move. I mean, we were down. We were talking about, wow, what happened to that 251? It just killed it again to the upside. But now you have that 254 top. Again, it's deliveries. I expect them to have a lot of deliveries. So for me, this is good news. But you still have some high side problems here of 270 on Boeing. So we'll wait to see if that comes in. It's 11:15, guys. Only 15 more minutes left. Thank you for the kind words on the chat. We're celebrating 200,000 subscribers today. We will be having that champagne in about 10 minutes or so.
Absolutely. And you might be shocked to note that BlackBerry has done absolutely nothing. So look, when we go over our free watch list every single day and look at the names that are moving, some of them will be there, some of them won't be. You know, BlackBerry positive news, a partnership with the Canadian government, blah, 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 AT&T. It's just, this is not enough to get the motor running here, and that's why we sort of stayed away from it. It's not to say that it's 100% it was not going to do anything. It's just that was both the reads, and I think it was the right call. I only want to get into that AEL if it breaks down. So we're continuing to creep up higher. Now, it might get into that range where we shorted it off the open at that 245 area to 250, so 2245, 2250 area. And if it goes there, that's where I might fade into a short, off of like that 5560. But unless I get that, which is kind of creeping up very, very slowly, volume dying down, I'm only looking for the breakdown. So it's 2220 that it has to break. I'll short it when it breaks that level. If it pops up, yeah, it might come in here, but with about 15 minutes to go in the show, how slow it's gotten overall, not just in the market, but in this particular stock, I'm not sure that's going to be the next shoe to drop. I can tell you, with the NASDAQ trying to round out and a few things at their highs, Tesla's putting an interesting top in. Now, it broke 740. Got to $1.50 and just roll over at 740 again here. So I would watch out for this breaking 736, 735 area to the downside. Much safer to take a consolidation short and only risk $1 or $2 on Tesla than jump out and then basically throw away $4 or $5 by taking a breakdown. But Tesla up 5%. I love you. But there might be a bit of a short in here. I've been far too reluctant to short some tops in Tesla, especially in the afternoon. Greg, you know all about that if you're watching.
Yeah, you got to watch out. I mean, I'd rather short NIO and things like that for sure rather than Tesla. Tesla's just such a cult stock, man. I mean, this thing can get going at any time. That's TSLA. You guys know that. Boeing still at the top. We can have a quick look at Tesla just to see if there's anything that I see as I wasn't really looking. Wow, yeah, wow. Up 5% today. Yeah, Tesla's still going. Taking out that top would not surprise me. We can take a little bit. I like Palantir down here, by the way. We can talk about that in a minute. Wow, there's Tesla on a 20-minute chart just booming. So no real levels there. If you did want to look at PLTR, though, we do have some decent levels on Palantir. PLTR, so keep forgetting to switch the symbol. Okay, so 22. This is kind of a level that we like, right around the 75. It is at VWAP. It has dipped down, so this is a spot that we could possibly take some love here on Palantir. So let's do that. Let's get some bids out, and then we'll hold it back into this area, like 65-ish, to know that we're wrong. I don't mind if it cracks through, but we definitely got to take some profits off here. Or if we get in, we don't want to hold it all the way back down. So let's look to see if we get some, low 80 bids here, and then maybe, hopefully, eventually some 75s on Palantir. Good shout out, whoever mentioned that to me. I did miss this downside there. Was just looking at, we just hit the 200,000, so was happy about that, and we did miss that level. So let's get some bids on Palantir. Good look for you guys.
Oh yeah, good level there. And so I'm going to see who it was here. Was Stock Scanner asking about WPG? This is a retail real estate REIT here. Now I'm going to have to double check to see if there's actually a catalyst why it's up like 11-12%, or if it's just a simple recovery play. I mean, there have been some bounces. I suspect there's probably got to be news on this, given what happened with the J&J and all that other nonsense, and some of the retailers going downside. My first gut reaction, without knowing what the story is going to be, is if I'm looking to fade overnight trade AMC, that didn't work, and the airlines have worked out for me, and I think CCL would have been a good play for me. I would be fading this one off of like a 240. Now, from a pure value standpoint, if you wanted to hang around in something and you're looking at the daily chart, I mean, look, it's not crazy. It's not crazy to hang on and think that maybe if we can hold like a 160, you're only talking about from this particular price, it's like a 25-30%, which when you're essentially talking about a penny stock, that's not a horrible risk to return down here if you happen to like it. From the day trading perspective, unless there is a particular catalyst that I'm unaware of and I can check into it, I'd be looking to fade that 240, 250 area, but I won't trade something blind, and it's only done 1 million shares in volume, so not necessarily on my particular radar there. Did I hear Miss V or Brendan? Brendan?
I was going to mention there, Neil, it might be a catalyst to this Riley that we mentioned earlier. They're in the same group, just broke 70. This one being added to the S&P 600, small cap, guys.
Okay, that means a related name gets added, so it's a little bit of a sympathy play. That kind of jumps more into the faded kind of thing. So I'd be more apt to think about fading something if it's that news. Of course, it is what it is, and I got like one fill in Sundial, and I told you guys, well, you know, a percent or 1.5% or 2% matters, so I'd only try to take some more if it popped up. Of course, that means it's not going to pop to the upside. So whatever, like I'm not going to celebrate too hard because I didn't get what I wanted on this one. If it does come back down to like the 92 to 94 range, that's clearly a target area to get out, not just because of VWAP, but because of the chop it had before. And again, with Sundial, you start thinking in terms of percentage moves instead of like 1 cent or 2 cents. It is what it is. It's only done 87 million in volume. When it was going crazy, this stock would do hundreds of millions of shares a day. So it's not quite what it was before. But it makes the push to $1, so I have to pay attention to it. I only got 97s. I would have taken more if it gave me 97 halves and 98 halves, or 98 even, something in that range. If it does pop down to 92 half, it tested in the afternoon, I probably would not load up a second time. That is exactly what got me into trouble the last time I played off the $1 level. I got a short at 99. It went down to 90. I then shorted back when it came back to the upside and threw everything away. So I'm not doing that again. If it works the first time, I'm not going to try this one out in the afternoon if it tries to make a push.
Okay, yeah, just a note, guys, we are into Roblox now, so we finally got that position on, and now we'll wait to see. We're long at 80.20, like it breaks, and I crossed up 20 cents, so I guess I got the ultimate bid there, down through 20, so not a great price there, but that's fine. That's part of the slippage. It goes as high as 36 there for Roblox, so we're in it, and it's bouncing around. I got to give it back down to 78.50. We talked about that. I mean, if you're not in this game for the longer run here on Roblox, then I think you gotta, at least give it to some of those levels on the downside, like we just mentioned there, 70.50. I mean, I'm expecting a big run out of it. So if we're expecting a big run, we definitely got to hold it for a little bit of a downside. So we'll see. That it could be wrong, but we'll wait for 78.50 on good news with Hasbro. That is RBLX, my new position, and the only one that I have on right now, RBLX. And we're flat on it. So here it goes. Mind the spread. If you're in this name, mind the spread. You are going to have to mark it out or up like I did, guys.
Yeah, and speaking of minding the spread, got to mind the position on plug. We had one more target to get to for the last of our shares. It never quite pushed into those highs. It rolls over, breaks VWAP, and again, I'm going to take this one out when it gets past that 75 mark me and test that 65. And it is what it is. You don't want to turn a winning trade into a loser. Of course, it really couldn't unless I held it to the low of the day because it was just the last 25% of that position in plug. But a winning trade's a winning trade, so we're going to give the fist bump to that one. And the fist bump is for you guys because I wasn't necessarily looking at plug, but I saw a few people talking about it. Called up and was like, yeah, it's participating in that recovery. There's definitely going to be a bit of a trade there. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's NVCR. Yeah, of course it's not. Look at the slow grind. So. And again, because it slowed down, I get out at 190 instead of waiting for that 180 flush, which I was looking for. So it's going to continue to flush downside, but it is like the slowest move down that I've ever seen. I anticipated because of how much it had slowed down that maybe it would give a little bit of a pop. So while the last short was good, the read on how to get out was a little bit wrong, and I have to pay attention to that. I've just started taking out some shares of Sundial. Like we talked about here, it's not going to be the home run because it never really gave me the consolidation I was looking for to get into everything. Let's go. But it's got the first leg out here in this consolidation at 95.5. I'll work it all the way down into VWAP here. Brendo, what's up, buddy?
All right, we want to make a quick announcement as far as earnings are concerned. We're going to get set up for some champagne. Thank you once again for 200,000, guys. It means so much to us. Also, come back this afternoon and join us at 3:15 for the last hour of the day. But as we mentioned, all week long, there are finally some earnings coming tomorrow before the market opens. We'll get some of the big banks. We'll also get, Bed Bath & Beyond on there.
Yeah, we wait for the banks, man.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead, Neil. Yeah.
No, I was going to say, I'm like, okay, Bed Bath & Beyond. It's actually that's a tradable stock. We'll wait for the banks, and I think looking for some positive numbers. I mean, it's not all of them tomorrow, but you got the big boys, JP, the trading side, Wells. I'm not in Wells, but JP, yes. Goldman Sachs. I mean, yeah, I think there's going to be some solid numbers through all of those. I don't know. I don't really know much about that PinTech or C Change there, so it's not that we don't ignore earnings around here. It's just we try to stick to what we do know and we think is going to be actionable. I didn't, and I should have, but I didn't take that Tesla rollover. What did my chart not? There we go. Didn't take that Tesla rollover. I probably should have when it broke that 736. I got distracted by what stock? Sundial. So Sundial has this thing where, like, if I see it as a trade, I'm going to make that trade on the rollover instead of Tesla. Well, Tesla breaks that 736, and look, it's only $2 in the money. I probably would have scalped a little bit because of that chop and then look for the retracement to VWAP, but it's a NASDAQ rolling over, even though it's up 0.7% and showing some strength. Still, while holding the top of the ES, same thing. Tesla sometimes can be a bit of a bellwether in terms of rolling over first and then the market following. Brendan, I see you setting up and I'm getting thirsty. My water is done. That means only one thing left for me to drink.
All right, yeah, we have, which camera? Oh, here. We have very classy cups, guys, but yeah, we're going to get this open and come back to me when we have this open, guys.
I mean, I'd rather Valeria open it and it pop everywhere.
I offered.
But I don't think she wants to do that. But that's the hilarious part. Okay, Valeria's filming it, so we'll be able to see that one. Look, we're super excited, man. Only 4 minutes to go. The only position I have on is Roblox. It's now 30 cents in the money. We'll figure that out. I believe Brendan has just popped said champagne. Do we have?
He's
not quite.
No, not quite. Okay, he's working on it. The thing is, we're all very nervous because we have these styrofoam cups. I mean, we went all out for you guys.
We also have a lot of equipment around here, so we'll do this very carefully.
Go, Brendan.
Do it.
Get it.
This
Get
might
it.
be hopefully not a bit of a fail.
There we go.
Hey, no mess.
No mess,
Thank you,
no
guys.
moss as well. So yeah, get in there, Valeria. Start drinking that up. And our production crew. Hopefully we don't have any meetings because last time we had a meeting right after the show, and then we got back, and there was literally, as my kid says, literally no champagne left.
That is the correct use of literally, Sean, because it's not like they drank a little bit of it. We were gone. We each got a sip of it, and then when we came back, it was bone dry. But you know what, Lucas, Rob, you guys work hard. You guys are young. Go for it. If I have more than one, I'll be like sauced for sure.
Yeah, we're going to go enjoy that in a minute as we just get ready to wrap up the trades there. Valeria's going to have that video. I guess she's going to post it on our Twitter account, so follow us all on Twitter. Oh, we're going to have an Instagram post finally. That'd be nice. Okay, straight to the upside. Yeah, follow me and the main account on Instagram as well. Look, guys, it's been a big show. ADA still moving. BTC mooning as well, just taking out all-time highs right now of 63,260. Ether also getting upside right now, trying to break that 2250 level, and Roblox still jamming. So big show, big day, more to come at 3:15.
Yeah, you better believe it. We're going to be right back for that power hour at 3:15. You know what we try to do. It's always exciting. I mean, the market's going to give you some moves at that particular time. But I want to just, I just noticed Quantscape breaking back below 42.
We just come up there.
Brendan has just given me mine, so I guess we're not going to go up there. If we all have one, even though Randy doesn't, I see you, Randy, you're filming over
nice
here,
and
but
cold.
Randy, you should have one as well, guys. It is actually cold somehow. Good job, boys.
Yeah, we had it in the freezer for a while, so we'll do that. We have about 2 minutes to go here, and I'm just watching this Roblox. And cheers to everybody. I mean, when do we want to do this? Do we have a three-shot, or what do we want to do here?
There we go.
Whoa, hey, yo.
Tech guys are in the middle.
Yep.
They're going to grab theirs, but yes, thank you so much. Valeria and I are going to cut off a little bit. That's fine. Thank you so much, guys. Over 200,000.
Who cares?
Show for you every single day. Come back this afternoon first, but then tomorrow the next day. And the next day, guys. Thank you to 200,000. Guys, cheers.
Salute. Thank you to everybody.
Thank you so much. Oh, the bubble.
That's good. Yeah, a little wet the whistle there.
It's so much better when you've been waiting for it and anticipating it for so long. And you guys pop bottles if you want to enjoy it with us. But we're so very happy and so very thankful.
Is my mic on?
This is making me. I could down this I could just chug this thing.
Yeah, this actually tastes a lot better than I remember. So thank you so much. Thank you so much to John Watkins.
Better pick, Sean. Better
for
pick.
the super chat. Yeah, cheers to Neil. I've known Neil for way too long. I think it was.
By the way,
grade
Sean.
7 maybe.
I'll accept the deal. Let's do it.
Oh, wow.
Amari
Neil,
Cooper,
me and him
I'll
are going
do
to
it.
make a deal going on here. I like when Neil drinks. It makes fantasy trades a hell of a lot easier. So cheers to that. Yeah, look, big show. I don't know. We can get Valeria. Brendan, any words from you too?
Apparently my mic was off, guys, so I just wanted to mention thank you. Yeah, we're 0 for 2 on that front, but thank you so much to everyone. It means a lot to us. What I said was make sure you come back this afternoon and join us. but then also tomorrow, the next day, and the next day. We do this every single day. The market is open. But yeah, thank you to 200,000 guys.
There we go. I like this view. We should do this view more often. Valeria, where's your drink? Get that drink. There it is. Yeah, we need to start drinking this up. And guys, again, thank you so much. Enjoy your lunch. Enjoy everything. I know we will be. And I'm not going to any meeting. This tastes way too good to be sharing it with anybody, but I would love to share it with everybody right here and share it with you guys as well. It's been a monster day. We're back. If we make it, we're back in 4 hours, 3 hours, I guess, at 3:15. Beautiful day. Valeria got all dressed up. So did Neil, and so did Trader TV Randy. So
Randy's always dressed up, but like I can't add anything to that. Like I said, that's absolutely perfect. So for the entire team, and I'm going to go down the entire line here for Ms. V. From my man Sean Katina. Randy, you're the next person I can see here. Always doing a fantastic job. For Brendan Wickens, Robin Lucas, do not drink all of it. I'm Neil Roberts. There's an entire rest of our team. Laura, I want to shout you out. And of course, our producers, you guys are amazing. Everyone in our back office that contributes to the show as well. We're all celebrating this together. And of course, you guys are the best. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. We'll see you back at 3:15 and try not to be drunk.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
I'm sure I'm gonna say that. Bye.